What's up, y'all?
Yo.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey. You know what I looked like last night after all that bad football? Finally, we had a good game late at night last night. You know what I looked like in the fourth quarter of that game? Tom Moore. Seriously, did you see that picture when they zoomed in on Tom Moore yesterday?
Yeah.
That's what I looked like at the end of the Chiefs-Lions game. I'm here with Tony was like, how fucking old is he? And Jim was like, he's an octogenarian. Tony's like, it's not helping. And it's not helping. I have no idea what that is. Guess who's back? Jamal Dean.
Oh, my God.
There's Tom Moore.
Unreal.
Pull him up. God bless him, dude.
Tom Moore was born in 1938.
Yeah, dude.
He's still on NFL sidelines.
What? That's incredible.
I gotta look through all my coaches and teams I played for. I don't know why I feel like I played on a team where he was maybe.
You probably did cross over with Tom Moore. Look it up. Somebody see if Nate was with Tom Moore. He recognizes him.
Him and Vita have a bromance in Tampa that's absolutely hilarious. Vita puts him on his social media all the time, and Tom Moore has no idea what it is. You know, he's just like, "What are you doing, Vita? Get me off of your screen." It's so funny.
Snap face. He's calling it snap face. No,
a conversation just being able to ultimate fly on the wall is Ernie Adams and Tom Moore just trying to talk, just talking ball.
Trying to talk. They would just go.
Yeah, they would go. But who do you think? It would be incredible to find out who has forgotten more, because the adage, this guy's forgotten more about football than right.
Well,
who knows more ball?
Yeah.
How old is? Yeah, Tom's got him by at least a decade, I'd say. So
yeah.
But
a real lifer in the business.
That's a decision to be like, I'm going to coach football forever. I'm sure, and I think we've talked about this with Tom Moore before. He's probably got a wonderful family and grandkids and the whole thing, but you are definitely picking football.
Oh yeah.
You're just fuck all the other stuff. I like being here doing this. All right, I like being here and doing this as well. That was an ugly slate. The Sunday night football game saved the slate. I'm here with Dr. Fax. I got Nolan. I got Cowboy Reed. I got Bo Sivas on the Zoom, and I got Tanner back there behind the machines.
That's that time of year though.
What time of year?
The Mercury's in Gatorade. This is when
What's he talking about?
This is when everything gets crazy in the world. I feel like that's why we got bad football.
Why do you say Gatorade?
It's really like the Mercury is in retrograde.
That's saying Gatorade.
Yeah.
That's what he said on the show one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I felt like I heard this.
It hits better.
It hits way better.
It hits a little
Mercury's in Gatorade.
Hell yeah. And you see all this is when all the crazy stuff happened. We're waking up to people hearing that people are retiring.
Dude, that is nuts.
So many. I feel like we always have injuries in the NFL, but I feel like this year it's is it I don't know if it's technically up the numbers, but it just feels like it's a lot right
Dude,
now.
it feels like it's a lot. We've had a couple early retirements. I guess we can just really quick start the show off with this. I was going to wait until later because we're going to get Sunday Night Football in a second, but I broke the news to Eagles fan Nolan Mert earlier today as we were sitting there looking at our respective games, and I said, hey, I just want to read this post from Zadarius Smith. I knew this day would come. And in case you're living under a rock, you're about to get broken some news. Zadarius Smith, I knew this day would come, but now that it's here, I'm feeling so many emotions I had never expected. Who would have thought that a kid from Greenville, Alabama, with just 1 year of high school football experience would go on? That explains a lot, dude. Anybody that plays 1 year high school football and then goes to college to play football is destined to be great at football. It's just a rule. No bad habits. Would go on to play professional football in the NFL for 11 incredible years. This game has given me the opportunity to meet great coaches, compete alongside some of the best players ever, and represent some of the greatest organizations in the league. Football has transformed my life and my family's lives forever, and for that, I'm forever grateful. This career has taken me across the world, from earning my first passport stamp to visit countries I only saw on maps, to helping me start a foundation that gives back to my community. It's a lot longer than that, and it's really well written. And I like the use of paragraphs, indentation, the whole thing. Honestly, a lot of guys just, they say fuck grammar.
It's one sentence.
And Well, yeah. This dude, one of my favorite players of my post-playing career, watching Zadarius Smith, he was, and we'll get to maybe like what it means. But I loved him as an edge rusher. I loved him as a floater. He would float around, pick a guard to pick on. Like he was a power player. He could get on your edge, the whole thing, disrupting the run game. Just a total stud. Loved the celebration. He was a very original, unique player, and underrated, in my opinion. Very underrated. Got to go to the Pro Bowl a couple times in his career, but very underrated. And it didn't work out in Philly. I don't know what it is. I suspect he probably just lost the love.
He's playing well. I mean, on a win rate basis, currently the Eagles' second best pass rusher, second most productive pass rusher.
Now, if we wanted to be salacious, we would say, God, I tweeted earlier to be like, I don't know what's going on up there, because that's not usually a good thing when somebody's like randomly retiring. That's not me trying to like stir shit up. I'm not gonna take it any further than just saying, hey, congratulations on a great career to Zadarius Smith. The new thing is retiring during the season. That really wasn't as much of a thing when I played.
That's a new, like, that's an obvious red flag, right?
What?
To retire during the season, like
the red flag for the team,
for all parties involved. Like, meaning red
Especially
flag
after a Thursday night game.
Exactly. Yeah, like red
I had to
flag.
come in on Monday, and Z was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he didn't love it anymore. For many years, coaches said, hey, if you don't love it, leave.
The mini buy.
And that's what I mean.
And then players started listening.
Since when do we listen to that, though?
Well, since lately. No, so I'm not. Listen, on the day one of my favorite players retires, I'm not gonna do the thing where I say, hey, like, stick it out to the end of the season. Like, it's just a different league than it was. And
okay.
What?
No, I was just saying, before we move on, I said I was trolling a few Eagles fans this weekend, and I said this is the week that the implosion starts in that locker room. It starts, and this is the first step, I think.
Well, no comment, because I'm gonna let whatever happens on the field, I'm going to let whatever happens on the field kind of play out, and then we'll make our determinations off of that. I'm a little too close to the product to tell you how I feel about the situation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, we'll see what happens. They've got a really big test this weekend against the Vikings. Eagles didn't even play. Found a way to garner some headlines this morning. We're going to move right along. Because I can't win with the fucking Eagles.
Big Z, you're welcome back anytime.
Yeah, dude.
Next week, maybe you need a week off. That's fine.
Yeah.
Come back next week.
Yeah, get your head right. See you next Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly.
But honestly, not a great sign. So, especially because, you are thin at edge rusher. And this is a statement. Oh, my gosh, we're just...
Quickly.
Statement from President of Football Operations, Chad Brinker. Chad... 75, 80 words to say we just fired the coach. I'm not going to read that whole thing. TLDR. Brian Callahan got fired. And I hate to hear that, because we really enjoyed our visit to Tennessee, and I think, Brian's a good dude, at least from sitting down with him, and maybe a little bit in over his head. Not the first time that's happened in the NFL, but, Tennessee's not going to fuck around with this thing. They got a rookie quarterback that they think is very good, although half the world right now thinks he's trash, because they're looking at box scores or they're looking at errant throws, and this guy's been sacked at an alarmingly high rate. He doesn't have a lot of weapons outside. I think we knew that coming into this season, and it's just not good.
If you're a coach and you just got fired mid-season and you probably won't get like another job till next year, you just chilling, you just going to taking a big trip. Or,
bro, I'm smoking pot all day and playing Madden, like all day, dude. I'm gonna be busting people's asses on Madden and just rubbing their face in it. Like,
didn't Cliff Kingsbury go to like Thailand or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Peter Schrager was like, he's in Thailand. I just heard from him.
With buyouts, he's getting paid not to work,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's probably where James Franklin's going, right?
To Thailand, you think?
$49 million can get you a long way in Thailand.
I think from knowing a little bit about James Franklin, there's not a lot of room in his life for anything but football. So I don't think he's the type of guy that's like, yeah, let me get away and go to Thailand.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No doubt.
I mean that as a compliment to him.
All ball.
That guy's all ball. But so anyways, we had it was a shitty slate of games. And again, a reminder that the NFL is king because that had everybody sitting like, half of America didn't get up yesterday. No. You've got international game in the morning,
13 hours.
Dudes are getting hemorrhoids sitting there fucking all day watching National Football League wire-to-wire coverage, 9:30 a.m. to midnight basically. Right. They have subtly moved in on us on our Sunday, and I don't mind it. I don't even
got time for morning service anymore. You used to be able to go to the morning service.
I thought it was faith, family, football.
Right? Like the 8 o'clock, you could at least go to the 8 o'clock service at your churches.
Dr. Facts.
And be home by noon to get all the football.
That's what throw up the Sunday service in the multi-view.
That's right. That's a great point. I was gonna say that's why you can stream on your phone. Yeah. You bring your phone you're sitting in the pew, but that's a great call, Bo. You got 4 screens for a reason.
New product coming out soon.
Slow down, Roger Goodell.
He is, man. They're taking over. And this feels like this is what the future of viewing football is going to be like. All day. Because they're doing the international thing nonstop. And when I was a player, I hated it. But now as a fan, I'm like, you know what?
Love it.
Love it. Because the more standalone games, the better. Standalone games allow you to actually watch the game, like 100%, and not have to go back and rewatch it. Like, the way we cover the league, we got to watch 4 at once or 2 at once or, and then you go back and rewatch. And, I only need to, thankfully, watch Jets, Broncos one fucking time. So, or Browns, Vikings last week. But there's a good one next week in London. It's the Rams and the Jags. So, anyways, man.
Kevin Kernick in the chat.
What's next? A non-English halftime show? What are we? We're attacking the churches.
Don't do this. Don't do this right now.
Oh, man.
Kevin Kernick in the chat called 9:30 to 10:30, an all-day football watching couched. Not cooked, but couched.
Couched, man. That's what we all are, dude.
Good call.
And the faith family football, man. My kids, I barely see them. Last night I did the live show. They come up, Dad, can we come up? They're sitting up there, and I do the live show Sunday night. So check that out if you don't know about it and you want to watch. But Waylon and Luke are supposed to sit on the couch, and I'm over here talking to the and I have ADHD, so it's hard to focus. And all of a sudden, I hear swish, 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 swish. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I look over, and my 6-year-old's doing the floss dance, which I can't even do with my hands right now. But he's just staring at me doing the floss dance, and I'm trying to break down the Jags game. And I'm like, I had to break character and be like, hey, you can go back with Mom now. So my kids, they don't even get to see me anymore because of these international games. All right, let's start with the Sunday night game, shall we? I'll just say this. It became apparent to me early in this game, and the injuries matter. Lions fans, I will give you that. I bust y'all's balls a lot, but when I told you I gave out the Chiefs, the injuries were at least part of the reason I gave out the Chiefs. And, I haven't gotten a Lions game wrong yet this year, so take it up with management. But I gave out the Chiefs because of the injuries in the secondary to the Lions. I think the Lions, this is a really quality win for the Chiefs because of who they beat, in my opinion. The Lions, and I said this last night, I think the 3 teams that are playing the best right now in the NFC, because I left one out, I think it's the Bucs, I think it's the Lions, and I think it's the Seahawks. Those 3 teams in this little small window right now are playing the best. That could change. It ebbs and flows all year. So this was a really, really big win for the Lions, and it became apparent to me on that first drive that it was all about time of possession, keeping the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. It's a beautiful drive. Obviously ends at the goal line, but it was going to be about red zone. It was going to be about money downs, and I thought the 2 biggest moments in the game were obviously Detroit on the illegal motion, which was discussed after the play. We can get to that in a second.
Oof.
And the 4th and 2 where St. Brown drops the ball. Because at that point in the game, you're 10-6, you've got the football, you can go up 17-6, or Kansas City can take the ball back and go 2 for 1, which they did. And there were a lot of moments in between those moments, but those 2 moments to me were huge because they kind of defined the game and the way it was played. And Kansas City jumping on an opportunity for situational football and getting that score before the half and then coming out of the half and getting points.
Totally. Yeah. Sorry. No, I totally agree. I felt like the Amon-Ra St. Brown drop, just from that point forward, them being able to go 2 for 1 there, and the Lions not seeing the ball again before half was it put them really behind. Like you said, that wasn't the game script the Lions wanted. Falling behind 10, even though they came out and were able to put together a scoring drive in the second half. On the heels of that, the Lions needed a stop defensively. They couldn't get it. Then they go 3 and out, and they're back and looking at that 10-point advantage of the Chiefs again. So I think the Lions, like, we've seen them come from behind. We've seen them win in the drop-back passing game. It was more about the Chiefs' offense in this game being rolling and being able to just maintain that commanding lead all the way through the game and be productive all 4 quarters.
We've said this over and over again. The Chiefs are going to be scary. And now it's not a future thing, it's a right now thing. So, like, board up the windows and, batten down the hatches, because this offense is going to look as good as it looks since fucking, like, 2018.
Yeah.
Because Rashee Rice is coming back this week. We talked about the effect that Worthy has on the run game, on the screen game, on stretching the field vertically, horizontally. And, they found guys like Thornton along the way. Mm-hmm. Through the growing pains. And so, I think even with Simmons out last night, that was one big injury that came up late. It wasn't an injury. He was in California on a personal issue, which obviously our thoughts are with him and his family or whatever's going on, because that's never a good thing when all of a sudden on a Sunday you hear the guy's not even in town. He's back in California dealing with something. But to be down that tackle against, just a total stud in Hutchinson, who, like the godfather of offense. I don't know why you would ever leave Noah Gray on him. And somebody was like, well, that was on Patrick. And then Bill Barnwell tweeted, which I love, was like, Noah Gray was moving 8.5 miles per hour backwards. Next Gen Stats figured that out, that like he was he wasn't speeding in a school zone, but he was moving towards Patrick at an alarming rate. That's what happens when you leave a tight end on a guy like that. And I don't love booting into Hutchinson, but generally I thought the game plan was great. And for Kelvin Shepherd, I thought keeping the points down through a lot of game and just giving your team a chance. He's not going to get the credit because they don't come up with the win, but like there were a lot of guys down last night, and they found a way to be competitive. So that Lions grit is always there. And there were moments where like it looked like hell defending Jared Goff on that second drive. Like the protection was great, and one of the themes that's going to come out of this game is where's the pass rush for the Chiefs. Eventually they get there on 4th and 2. Dana and Jones win, but he was ripping Diggs like it's his fucking job, because it is, and he throws that ball as good as anybody in the game. The one to Laporta, the one to J-Mo. Yeah. If you give them the time to do that, they're dangerous. And there was a moment before that 4th and 2 where I said, golly, they can't stop the run either. Remember Gibbs got lost in the crowd? Yeah. This is a game that could easily go either way. Yep. But the Chiefs' offense is just in too good a shape, and Spags eventually got a few stops.
Yeah, and specific to this matchup, you mentioned Shepard having his work cut out for him. They were in base personnel over 76% of the time last night. That's a really tough place to live because of those corner injuries. And that's a really tough place to live against this Chiefs offense, because what they do, even before getting, Rice back, presumably this week, they have so many guys who can create after the catch, and they force you to tackle in space. And even when those plays aren't there early in the down, now you're looking at a scramble drill situation where it's tough on the communication.
It's even worse.
And nobody can cover.
No, I'm really impressed with Jack Campbell and Shenault. Totally. Those two guys, those two big athletic SOBs, dude.
Shenault, you see Shenault on Amon-Ra St. Brown on
absolutely in the flat.
Space. Yeah,
second and 8
early in the game. That's how I was like, yeah, Amon-Ra might be a little dinged up. You know what I mean? He didn't quite seem like himself between the drop and then I think he's dealing with a little bit of an ankle injury. But anyway, Leo Shenault is a dog. And he's actually, I think those two players, Jack Campbell and Leo, like pretty good comparison there between the two of them as far as like size, physicality, and kind of like, what they bring to the table defensively. I thought I actually had like Leo, he played phenomenal, man. And I was surprised that the Lions didn't try to just mash the ball a little bit more offensively. I thought that they would. I mean, they damn near rushed for 100 yards, but it just seemed like that was going to be maybe a little more of an emphasis for them going into it. And I was surprised. Now, some of that is just kind of because of how the game went. But it just felt like their, that identity was missing a little bit for them from me.
Yeah, and if the game played out differently, I think they might have been able to run for 150 in that game. I mean, Kansas City, quiet has kept the defense is a little bit of an issue. The pass rush is just not like outside of, and Dana had a great rush. I mentioned that on 4th and 2. Omenahu eventually got home, but like when Skipper's out there at tackle, and God bless him, dude, because he did a great job of just, hey, keep your big body in the way. Just don't get beat fast. And, if you get beat, get run over, make it slow. And that's eventually what happened to him. But I thought, the guys inside, for the most part, held up okay against Chris Jones. Mm-hmm. He got Ratledge on some up and unders. And obviously with the game in the biggest spots, you expect Chris Jones to make those plays. So it was a redeeming game for Chris Jones just to make the big plays in the big spots. But it wasn't like, he just took the game over. This game was a game that was on a razor's edge for a while, and it was going to be like an every possession counts game. And in a game like that, and Goff was fucking amazing, and he is an amazing thrower of the football, but like Mahomes just gives you so much from a mobility standpoint in a game where there's going to be possessions are at a premium. Yeah. And so when you've got it's 4th down, it's 4th and 2, we're going because we're afraid of the Lions offense and we can't just punt the ball back to them. That type of game, when you have a quarterback that can go sprint right option, that can get you out of trouble, that can scramble. I mean, we saw some instances last night where you're like, oh, that's vintage Mahomes. And and what
especially against he's especially dangerous against the base, like you were talking about, Nolan. You know what I mean? Because like those dudes, the Chiefs, it feels like they just got an influx of speed recently, obviously with Worthy and Rice coming back. That's a bad matchup with Mahomes on the edge. And then, dude, I'm always surprised by his speed. But I'm always surprised by his physicality as a runner. That sounds like a joke or like me being tongue-in-cheek, but it's not. You saw Collinsworth salivating over that hit that he took, and he's like, oh, here's a guy who can do it with his feet and then almost get a first down. He's still like 3 yards short, but like he took a couple shots on that run. Mm-hmm. And I'm just always surprised by his like toughness and athleticism out of the pocket, man. He got a weird style of running. We all kind of know that, but like he really is effective.
Dude, as soon as he did that last night, and there's so many instances of this where – could he run over Mustafa at the goal line like last year in the San Francisco game? Like what he does on the sideline is not a barometer on how tough the guy is. I get real tired of like people who don't play contact sports, never have, calling him a bitch or what have you, because on the sideline he plays a game. Okay? That's some gamesmanship. I don't love it. As a defensive lineman, we try to tattoo you on the sideline and then, we'll pick up the pieces later and figure it out. But like in the middle of the field, the guy turns into like, I don't know, a guy with a leather football helmet on. Seriously.
Looking like Tim Tebow out there at times.
No, I mean, one thing you can't say about this guy is he's soft. And I know that, the whole country wants to hate Mahomes and call him names, but that dude's tough. And when you do shit like that, it really earns the respect of your teammates. And after the game, we got to talk about that in a second here. But listen, I got a soapbox moment. Get Mahomes quarterback 13 of 32 off my television screen. Like, get it. We're talking about legislation, what our kids shouldn't see at school, what they shouldn't be learning about. Like, should we have political ads on television? I want the PFF scores off the TV as bad as I want political ads off the television because, like, God forbid there's somebody watching the game who doesn't know who fucking Patrick Mahomes is.
Right.
They're going to be badly misguided, brother. Mm-hmm. 13th best quarterback in the league. Mm. I mean, if I was not Nandi, and maybe he earned it this year, but I would fucking sue. I'd be in Chris Collinsworth's backyard, dude,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'd be at the window.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? You can't do that, dude. It's crazy to me that every Sunday night.
made comments about the PFF grades too. I think it was last week or maybe the week before. He's like, I just don't know what the hell they're looking at sometimes. How do you have a guy who's grading somebody and you have no idea what he's being coached? And every single player is like seeing those comments on social media and just be like, yes, Spags, yes.
It was gratifying to hear Spags say that. Very, very gratifying. But the end of the game, the fight, we were in there last night looking at it like John Boy.
We were breaking down all 22.
We were breaking down.
Let them fight.
We were trying to figure out like who was who. I think we got
diving into rosters.
It was Millette. It took us a long time to figure out who was like doing the we call him groundhog now.
Yes.
But it took us a while to figure out that it was Millette that like burrowed into the pile of people. Like and then came out and a dude in a hoodie for the Chiefs just big boyed him and like tackled him. And then Millette's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like Millette looks shocked that happened to him and he's like burrowing under.
He burrows under and gets fucking clobbered in the nose. Like,
crazy, dude.
It's like, why'd you dive in the bottom of the pile?
But JuJu got pieced and JuJu comes out with like a bloody nose and shit.
It. Well overdue for JuJu. I'm sorry, JuJu, for as many TikTok dances and logos you've danced on and you have done in people's faces. And hey, look, I'm saying he deserved it. But what's funny to me about this whole situation is when you do these type of dances and you taunt people in your face, you have to know that at some point someone's not going to accept it and they're going to hit you in the mouth. And when he got hit in his mouth, he tried to flop. He tried to flop after the game, the first initial hit. And it's just like, and then he kind of like realized that.
Can you pull it up here so we can see it? We don't have to, I don't want to get sued.
I think he realized like, hey, this isn't during the game, so I can't get a penalty and get the satisfaction that I want. And he's like, oh, wait, I got to go do something about this. And then gets rolled up.
Dog, it was chaos in there. I mean, you've been in a football fight.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of...
Look at it. Look at that.
Well, yeah, it took him a second, and then he tried to run at him, but at that point...
And then look.
No, but he wasn't saying hold me back.
No, but like, why do you go at him? You're not really trying to fight. Look at this.
What do you mean?
You're coming straight at me while one of your teammates is holding me, and you still let the dude grab your face mask and get the position? Like, do something.
I don't know, bro. I think he's trying to come at Brian Branch, but Pacheco's running interference unintentionally. Like, there's no target to strike. Branch just was like absolutely OD after the game, and there was some extracurricular shit during the game, and I'm sure there was shit from the Chiefs too, for sure. And I know there's a lot of frustration in this game. Like, I know people think that the Travis Kelce DPI was late. It clearly was either DPI or holding. Clearly, okay? I don't think that was a catch. That's why the Chiefs hustled up to the line to snap the ball. We see that all the time in football. If the Chiefs can see it, so can you. So be mad at the coaching staff, okay? And the other thing on the goal line, from the people that are in the know that explained to me, like, this is something that happens all the time. Like, I'm not an NFL official. This is a legal motion. They can huddle. They can talk about it. There was that shit. Tempers were flaring. There was Aiden Hutchinson hitting Patrick late, which I totally get because I think two things happened there. I think he got kind of pushed into Patrick, and I think he thought Patrick maybe pumped the ball because the ball came out so weird. Like, I don't even know if.
To me, that's not cheap though. Like, you can say whatever you want, but like, there's tons of roughing the passers every week. Like, he's just trying to compete and play hard.
That's what I'm saying right now.
Patrick Mahomes, he got called for it. You know what I mean? Right.
But Mahomes didn't see it. So, like, to him, it felt like the dude just took 4 steps and cleaned his clock. So he got up pissed, like, kind of like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you? Like, I thought we weren't like that. And then, like, in the end zone, Branch kind of, when Mahomes scored that touchdown, Branch kind of came across, and this is a little thing, but, like, kind of came across and hooked him and gave him that little extra shove. And then Mahomes pointed at him, did the, it could be taunting. But, at the end of the day, this was a chippy game. And after the game, for Branch to do that, here's the thing. You can get mad at us for taking a balanced stance on this thing, or not motherfucking Mahomes for X, Y, and Z, but like your coach Dan Campbell said after the game that Brian Branch's actions were inexcusable. So take it up with Dan Campbell, because that and
along those lines, Chris, I was gonna say, like, I was really impressed with Dan Campbell. Like, he gets this, he's a meathead and he gets a rep as a meathead, and we joke about how he eats 3 pints of ice cream a night and stuff like that. But like, the bottom line is he fucking cares a ton about his players and he cares a ton about his team. And he was incredibly well spoken. And I thought the way that he handled that situation, to me, was really impressive. I think it would have been really easy for him to not do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. That's kind of what I took away from that. I was like, this is a dude cares a ton about his players. He, walked the fine line of saying the right things while still admonishing one of his, good players. And I think he handled it well.
He did handle it well, and listen, they have a tough culture there. Like we all know these teams that I played on, certain teams that played on the edge. Like Jeff Fisher's teams, we were known for playing on the edge, and some people would even call us dirty sometimes. And then Greg Williams was our D coordinator, and then we're like, fuck, like
we're a little dirty.
A little bit,
yeah,
but and a little like playing on the edge is good.
Yeah, for sure.
But you can hurt your team here.
Yeah.
Because there will be suspensions possibly coming out of this fight.
You think suspension?
Possibly.
Yeah,
for sure.
Maybe, yeah.
There were punches thrown, and I don't know who it's going to be. But Dan Campbell's in the business of winning football games, and like winning on the edge, playing on the edge, like that's what we want to be. We want to be edgy. We want to be motherfuckers, dude. Like everything about the Lions says like tough ass team. But it was interesting to see Dan draw the line in the sand and be like, hey, we're not that team though.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, it is cool. Yeah. It is cool. So,
I got one thing before we move on here, Chris. Yeah. It's coming up in the chat a little bit as I'm monitoring it live here on my second monitor. But I am also a little bit surprised about the fact that Dr. Fax didn't bring this stat up, and that is that there were 0 penalties called on the Kansas City Chiefs in this game. You have any thoughts on that, Fax?
Oh, I have a lot of thoughts on the NFL refs just in general for this entire slate and this entire year. And it's one of those things that I just have to pick and choose when I'm going to spaz on them. And I don't know if this is the game I particularly want to be upset about, because whenever the Kansas City Chiefs play, it's one of those things where benefit of the doubt is going to them. I don't know why, and I don't know if I watch enough games to have my mind be skewed a different way. But Patrick, certain guys get calls, and I think that the Kansas City Chiefs are definitely one of them, but NFL refs as a whole, and then an independent referee that's at the game explaining what's going on, the NFL as a whole has to do better with that, because you can't have me watching a game and have a guy on TV telling me what a call is and what's supposed to be going on, and then the complete opposite happens, like in front of our eyes.
Welcome to football.
Like it's just.
But when did we do this study last year?
It gets bad.
We did, and I came home from Philly when we were up at the birthday bar, and I'd put like the house on the fucking Bills, and they lost to the Chiefs, and there was a whole tush push thing, and I had been, had the Chiefs back all year, because like there isn't a lot of data that supports that they're getting every call. It's a self-fulfilling, and I fell into it after that game, because I'm like, I had the fucking, because I don't hate the Chiefs, but for a night I hated the Chiefs because I was on the Bills.
You're on the other side of the
So you're just constantly looking for it, dude. I watch football all day. People miss calls.
They
left
miss calls,
and right, and I'm sure the
time.
Chiefs get a
all
little bit more leeway than a bad team, for sure, dude.
I think it's just.
I don't know, the Saints.
I think with the Chiefs,
bad team, they got some leeway.
With the Chiefs, this thing is just a
there was a misholding call on one of the Bucs touchdowns yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I mean, it's clear as day.
We'll talk about it. The calls in the Patriots game, those phantom calls. Did you see that, bro?
With the OPI on Diggs,
bro. There's a lot. There's a lot of stuff that's going on right now with the refs, and that's why I say, it's too crazy to have to to have to coach up the refs or like look at their plays or grade them. But something has to give. Like something honestly has to give, and I just feel like as a viewer, it's crazy if you're a viewer for the first time, if you're a bettor for the first time, and like you lose a bet, and it's like you really don't have an explanation why. In a sense.
What call did you take issue with last night?
The explanation is availability heuristic. It's just that we see the Chiefs in these big spots so much more than
everyone else,
and we get all the angles. Right. When I watched Seattle and Jacksonville was a great football game, or not? It was supposed to be a great football game. But Seattle and Jacksonville, like that's the marquee 1 p.m. game. Like it looks like it's shot through a Hubble telescope. Compared to what I get on Sunday night. Like the Sunday night camera angles, the microphones, the analysis, the availability of the top officiating crew it's just. And when we see a team so much that we do hate, I don't hate them, but people hate them. I get it. Like eventually you're a human being, dude. You're a human. There isn't a fan base on Twitter that doesn't act like a little baby after a loss. Your fan base too, whoever you are, your fan base acts like a bunch of little bitches on the internet after you lose a game. Yes.
Jags,
yes.
Not like that. We're
absolutely.
We're realistic.
No, you're not.
We'll see.
No, you're not. We'll get the Jags thing.
No,
I can't wait to get Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, no, we're realistic.
Trevor didn't do anything wrong yesterday.
Oh, no, he did a lot, but.
Well, go read about him on Jags Twitter.
Hey.
If you listen, here's the bottom line, dude. Here's the bottom line. Everybody acts sour grapes when they lose a football game. And the Chiefs win a lot of football games. They have customarily. They're the new Patriots. They're on TV all the time.
That's it.
And it doesn't help when they get, like what you were saying, they're on TV, but they run the plays that are right on the line, and they all go to the refs and put, 1 yard, 1 yard, 1 yard.
Oh, but it's really hard to figure out because, like, for the Chiefs, everybody must want to see the Chiefs, right? Like, so the league's pushing them forward. But the Eagles, we're just not getting any calls, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just going from team to team. Well, nobody wants to see the Eagles in the Super
Eagles
Bowl.
are pushing themselves forward.
This year. They edited the Eagles out of the script this year because of the calls we saw in the – like, what are we doing, bro? Like, play the game. Everybody is just – everything is turned into this, like, every call only goes against my team.
Yep.
Like, come on, dude. Every media personality only dislikes my team.
I mean, that is kind of true for the Jags, but we could talk about that later time. Jags, we don't get no calls. You remember that pass interference call last week? It was clear. It's clear as day. And everyone's like, oh, what happened?
We got to go. We got to go. We got to go to the next game. We got to get to the main event.
Yeah, let's talk about the good shit. Let's talk about that.
We got to talk about the Hemingway game.
Hemingway's whiskey.
The drunkest.
I have a proposition before we get into this. So we're calling this the Hemingway game because it's the drunkest game. This game was played in London. I propose that we call it the Winston Churchill game.
Was he a drunk?
Consider. Oh yeah, Old Ironsides.
So this could be the Winston Churchill game. This time.
Love it.
Okay, the Winston Churchill game. Jets Bronco. Watching the Jets offense is like watching tectonic plates. Like just sitting in a fucking field. And watching them yesterday was like watching something that doesn't move very fast. And like, if you squint, it's like watching the sunset.
Yeah.
But not even that fast. Like
like a glacier move.
A glacier. I heard you talk about a glacier earlier.
I was talking about the Pats receivers.
The Pats receivers are like glaciers. The Jets offense is like tectonic plates, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need 1,000,000 years to see them like really move the football. Honestly, dude, I saw Justin Fields' passing chart yesterday. If they, how you fish on the banks of the Rivanna River?
Mm-hmm.
If they did a casting chart for you, it's the same fucking chart, dude. It's the same chart. One over here, right by the line of scrimmage. One over here, right by the line of scrimmage. Right by the dock. One right here. One right here. One right here. It was not a pro offense. After the game, Fields was quoted as saying, "There's 11 games left." And Lindsey Jones on X said, "That sounds like a threat." Oh my God, it's getting fucking late early in New York, man. And they lulled us to sleep with this quiet offseason. We got rid of Aaron Rodgers. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Aaron Glenn, he's so fucking cool, and he does seem cool. And he was a great player, and he did a great job in Detroit last year, and like everything's great. We haven't heard any bullshit out of this team. And then they almost beat the Steelers. And then he did the Merton Hanks down the sideline. And then ever since then, dude, they've just looked totally hapless.
And they still fumbling the rock. They're still turning the ball over. I had tweeted during the game, I was just like, because I was generally, I don't know why, I was generally rooting for them to do something good, to maybe come out and win this game. And then the fourth quarter I tweeted, I was like, damn. I was like, Jets fans, y'all go through this every week. Mm-hmm. And shout out my guy, Hoodie Allen, who's an artist. He responded right away and was like, yes. And it's just like for some fan bases, that does have to get really, really tough to be invested in a team and just watch them. Because they should have won that game. They had chances, but you look at the stats and it's
this guy Hoodie Allen, white rapper and a Jets fan. His life is not easy.
Well, and they didn't even turn the ball over because that call got overturned, which was bullshit. Because earlier in the game, literally the same play, Troy Franklin catches the ball, takes 2 steps maybe, and fumbles. But it was a pass breakup. He never really had possession, and they called that a fumble. They didn't even review it, and then they go and they don't give it the other way when
dude,
Garrett Wilson's holding the ball.
A football hit a wire in London. Yeah, it's the only game on TV a week ago. And Will Riker kicks the ball into the wire. The wire just like, and they don't do anything about it. They just so I don't think it's personal. Yeah, I don't think it's like a Jags. Conspiracy theory to hold the Jags down.
No, it's a marketing thing. Like you gotta chill. Like they can't make the make the issue more.
You're like the Jaguars woman reincarnated, the one that's like, well, you can't just have a newcomer come in and steal the show. Like that's like the level of conspiratorial thinking you're swimming in.
No, but then back to the Jets. The pile on the Jets. Bro, I seen a meme that was hilarious.
Jets.
Hey, all of us in here theoretically had more passing yards than Justin Fields.
Theoretically,
he ended the game.
I know he did. I watched the game.
I'm telling you, man, the Jets. They should. You guys remember in college and high school playing triple option wishbone teams? How frustrating that was. Uh-huh. Dude, they should just do that.
Absolutely, but they're not trying to win. I'm convinced they're not trying to win. And I'll say this: we were going back and forth on this earlier.
Yeah.
For all the decisions that Aaron Glenn made in that football game, and I am pro Justin Fields, whatever that means. Like I just want good things to happen to him. I feel for him. I don't know that he sees the field. Okay, like I'm ready to admit that if that's a thing. Okay, but in that particular game, it was time to go to somebody else in the second half. It's just that the delta between what winning football would have been that particular day was so far from what I was seeing on the field. And not to mention, like it took till almost the middle of the second quarter to get to your 10th play in your script. So like you're still on the script at halftime. Like that's just not good. And I know the coverage is great, but the time to sack, I'm sure by the end of the game was like 3.8 seconds or something like that. At one point it was like in the 5s.
Yeah, in the 5s.
And it had me stretching. And I was like, maybe I would like to go. I'm gonna just
I got those numbers for you, Chris.
You do? Ready?
4.4, 3.8, 3.6, 3.4, 3.3, 2.1, 2.9, and 4.4.
And 7.7.
Him 9 times.
Is a pass rusher's wet dream.
9 times.
So he was pressured. Fields was pressured on 16 of his 29 dropbacks. And on those 16 pressures, he attempted only 4 passes. Only threw the ball 4 times.
Dude, there was like a 4th down. Where are you going to throw the ball?
Crazy.
Hey, listen, if I die and I go to heaven, I don't know if I've done enough to go to heaven. You hear anybody say that lately? All right? If I die and go to heaven, I think heaven for me is rushing against the 2025 New York Jets on loop. Wow. I think it's waking up day after day, not being sore, like Bill Murray and Groundhog Day, except my alarm goes off and I'm like, you get to play the Jets again in front of a packed crowd, dude, on silent count or whatever it is, dude, because it's like charity. And, you pair it with the fact that, like the head coach's decisions. And here's the worst part of it. What we should be talking about today, if he had done one of those things right, is the Jets getting a win in London over a Denver team that just beat the defending champs because the defensive head coach got his defensive football team ready to play really fucking well, which they did. And instead, we're talking about before the half, 40 seconds to go, let's take a timeout, put Breece Hall in as the PP or whatever he was, which supposedly is abnormal for them.
Dead giveaway.
And run a fake punt instead of running with your offense, which is a public declaration that your offense can't pick up a yard. Your punting team actually has a better chance.
Yes.
And then take it to the half.
Right.
to the dismay of your very best player, Garrett Wilson, who like seriously, they should extract him like Denzel got that little girl in Mexico in Man on Fire. That's what they should do to Garrett Wilson. What was his name? Greasy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody needs to go get him. Poor guy.
That was a stunning sequence.
It was stunning.
We came out of the commercial and Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner were still standing like, we have no idea what we just watched.
What's going on.
And then the second half of the game, we don't need all 3 timeouts. Let's just think about it and then punt anyways. And that was the situation where you go. It was a situation where you go, all right, Broncos fans are saying, hey, you haven't talked about us yet. You're only talking about the losing team. Well, you didn't earn it.
Defense earned it, but the offense.
Defense earned it.
Did they, though? I mean, they're great. Like, the Broncos' defense is great, but the Jets' offense is also absolutely.
That was as close to seeing a minor league offense play as I've seen in the NFL. And, like, I played with some minor league offenses that practice every week, and I see them practice because I'm on the team, like, 4 times. Like, that's insane. And I will say, I did not love Sean Payton's game plan. You know, like if I'm nitpicking, what's wrong with the offense? Like, I don't know, man. Like, they start the game out and they're trying to get on the edges, and the Jets' edges came to play. And so they're trying to get on the edges of the run game, trying to make the guys tackle and that sort of thing. And they just couldn't. I thought like they finally found a little rhythm on that drive in the second half where Bo Nix missed Cortland Sutton in the red zone. Sherwood was Waldo. If you can get somebody on 44, you're going to win. But late in the game, they started to spread them out a little bit. And I thought that's where they would have more success if they did, including gun runs. Like Jets defense, they have not quit, which I think says a lot about the team and maybe the leadership that Aaron Glenn provides. He's working on the decision making. I want to let him learn because I do think he has a lot of intangibles. He's got Justin Fields playing quarterback for a team with an offensive coordinator that, a former Jets executive texted a media member yesterday and said, the offensive coordinator has to swim home. We're going to do worse flight. I'd like to do worse swim. And that goes to the Jets offensive coordinator, Tanner Engstrand. How do I say his last name?
Engstrand, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, dude, fucking jump in and doggy paddle to fucking Maryland, man. Because that was one of the worst game plans, and God damn, it was awful. Bo Nix threw the ball 67 yards
in the air.
He
freaking died.
He missed,
but it was a man.
But we were just talking about longest throws. That has to be up there. That was incredible. And then I want to say the Benito Surtain thing is getting into uncharted territory. If we are talking about Benito as a DPOY candidate, go back and look at like the last corners. The corners that have won it this century. I think it was like Charles Woodson, DPOY in 2009. Clay Matthews led that team in sacks with 10. It was a young Clay Matthews. Okay, they're going to have 2 guys with double-digit sacks, right? Like they're going to have one guy who's a DPOY candidate. The runner-up on that team had 4.5. Stephon Gilmore won it in 19. Take a guess who led the team in sacks that year. And with how many? You'll never get it. It was
what year?
2019. The Super Bowl year where they beat the Rams.
Like Van Noy or something?
They could play lockdown, man-to-man defense and unlocked everything. This is why the Stephon Gilmore year is almost the most impressive
Adam Butler.
to me. No, it was Jamie Collins and John Simon tied with 4 sacks apiece. So, like, just the most recent thing, honestly, where you had 2 guys like this was like James Harrison getting DPOY in 2009 and then Troy getting it in 2010. But a corner and an edge rusher playing at this level, like you're getting into uncharted territory. It's pretty cool to watch.
It's insane.
And it's a symbiotic relationship now.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you watch the Discovery Channel, you know what that means.
Yeah, and Cooper and Benito working with each other, like they meet at the quarterback. It's they are getting off the ball so fast. There have been 4 examples this season of a defense holding its opponent to fewer than 10 first downs in a game. Broncos have done it 3 times. So, Bo, to your did the Broncos earn it? Boy, have we earned it this season. 3 out of those 4 hot dog.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, hey, it's not the Broncos' fault that the Jets showed up and was like, hey, let's just see how fucked we can make the offense look.
John Franklin Myers balling too. Just one more guy in the defense. Shout out.
Probably one of. Well, you guys can tell me one of the most underrated.
I would agree.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Third in the league among interior guys in pass rush win rate. It's Simmons, Malik Collins, who we've been praising the whole season.
I was just about to bring up Malik Collins.
Yeah,
Malik Collins, who somebody needs to go rescue.
Tampa.
We'll get there in a second. Yeah. So, anyways,
just the last thing on Bo Nix. I'm all in. 2 weeks in a row, a game-winning drive.
That's huge.
Like when you need it. And the script, like his first, literally, I think it was his first 15, 20 plays, solid. That touchdown throw to Adkins, like beautifully schemed up. He knew exactly where to go and when to go there. He's solid. Sean needs to stop being so cute. Sean's so cute.
It feels like when that offense is clicking. It's they're finding Ingram.
The last 2 games they've started to find him. They had the big Ingram drive in the second half last week, and he was the guy yesterday because Sauce was on Cortland, I think, a lot of the time. But then sometimes in the red zone, you're like, how the fuck did you get Cortland on Sherwood?
Right.
And those are the matchups you get when you spread people out a little bit and make the linebackers walk out of the core and cover. Yep. And so, like, I like them spreading out a little bit sometimes. All right, next. Should we do Seattle-Jacksonville next?
We're going to say hi to BetMGM
I'd
next.
love to let Nate gather his thoughts. Welcome to the Greenlight Podcast presented by BetMGM. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code GREENLIGHT, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Just download the BetMGM app and sign up using bonus code GREENLIGHT. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. If that bet loses, you will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets when using bonus code GREENLIGHT at sign up. Then get access to second chance promos, odds boost tokens, same game parlays, BetMGM original bets, and so much more. BetMGM, make it legendary.
And hey, if you're in the chat, share this with a friend. Shoot it out there. Tell your homies.
Pew pew.
Tell your homies to jump on in.
Share that shit.
Yeah, because we're having a good time. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Seattle-Jacksonville. McDonald's.
Wait.
What?
I thought when we talk about the Jags, we would start with a chant.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Yo, see, this is what I mean about Nolan. Nolan is the reason why I'm going to end up hating the Eagles forever. Because Nolan rarely trolls anyone, but when it's a chance to troll the Jags, Nolan, he hops in with these little things, and it's like, come on, dude.
Have you ever considered that it's maybe to troll you?
No, I get it.
Zip code.
No, I get it. And hey, look, the Jags guys, we're still 4-2.
That's true.
Like, what do you want? We still can go 2 more games where you guys would have to come in here and be like, Dr. Fax is going to be here quiet. We're not even at 500 yet, guys.
No, nobody said anything like that.
And it's week 6, but you got to know I'm a Jags fan.
But who said anything like you?
We're not used to this, and we're good still.
I think you are still good. That's what I want to say right off the bat.
And I'm going to say, like, hey, fucking Newsom, get it together, bro. Get it together.
We just rescued you.
Hey, we just saved you from Cleveland.
We just sent Denzel to get you.
Don't make us send you back, bro. I get it. Your first snap, it's not fair. It's not right. They throw a 60-something yard bomb on your head. But look, JSN right now is honestly, if not one of.
He's him.
He is him. He's the best wide receiver right now in the league. He's
Himbo Fisher.
But he's very good.
He's Timothy Chalamet.
So you get a little pass there, but after this week and you get your feet in the ground and everything, no more of that, bro.
I think he's good. I think Liam Cohen's probably going to play that in a big meeting.
Because, bro.
Hey, Liam, anyways, guys, I got a special message
bro,
from a Jags alum.
I was devastated seeing that. Like,
that
not on him. Like, not your first play in the New Jersey.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Tyson Campbell had kind of an iffy day as well. But I'll say this first, because obviously we're going to talk about the Jags a lot because there's a Jags guy here. But like Seahawks fans, if you think you're getting glossed over,
no, Seahawks are not.
Who picked you to win the West? All right, so we love you. We love you. I think McDonald knows how to win on the road, 10-1. Coming to the game, the question was, what do you think? Because there's injuries in the secondary for Seattle, the whole thing. Who do you trust more? I do trust Sam Darnold more, and yesterday that was on display. Why? Trevor's not the reason they lost the game. Okay, Seahawks are the number 1 DVOA team in the league. Overall, they're number 4 on defense. They're number 4 on offense. I read that today. Maybe that's like maybe I got catfished, but to me, on paper, the efficiency that they play with, it looks about right. Offense and defense in the top 5, 33 pressures, 7 sacks. Okay, a lot of people are going to tell you it was on the offensive line. That's the narrative right now, and I agree. The offensive line looked like shit at times. Center got abused. There were times Little got abused. Dudes were taking turns. I mean, that defensive line from Seattle is, and I said this early in the year, they might be, if not the best defensive line in the league, one of the best defensive lines in the league. We took Leonard Williams, Mafe. You've got Byron Murphy.
Murphy's got a lot of sacks.
Yeah, he does. He's got 4.5.
5?
I think he's leading defensive tackles in sacks.
Let's see.
And then the other guy that I'm obviously forgetting is Tank, who came back this week and balled out. So they are a bunch of motherfuckers to deal with, and they play physical. They destroy blocks. And the one thing in this game was, all right, like the Jags were gonna make those guys in the back end tackle, like Emenware, screen game early. Seattle scared the shit out of them when it came to the screens. I think they ran like 2 or 3 in the first quarter, and then never again, like 2 more the rest of the game.
Yeah, on the game they were like five total for like 14 yards.
And when you stop the run like they do, that's part of the deal. So then you get them to third down. And I think the story of the game was third down distances 10 of 12 from long, and that means 3rd and 7 or longer. Mm-hmm. And some of those were like 16, some were 15. You had self-inflicted wounds, you had penalties. A penalty calls back a touchdown. It's a freak show touchdown, but it calls back a touchdown. Okay, here's the key figure for anybody that's going to pin this solely on the offensive line and absolve their quarterback. Time to pressure was 2.8 seconds. I repeat, time to pressure was 2.8 seconds.
Jeez.
Do you know what that means? That means he's holding the ball a little long. And part of that's because of the down and distance. When I watched the game back, I said, yes, certainly the offensive line got abused in spots, but there's also a lot of spots where Trevor Lawrence can be a lot better. And if you're a Jags fan and you're going to wholly reject that sentiment, in the spirit of just dumping on the offensive line, which has to be better, as well as the quarterback, then you're not a fan of the team, you're a fan of the quarterback. And that's what I hate, that fan bases have gotten this thing where there's just these factions and it's like political. It's like, are you anti the quarterback? Are you pro the quarterback? If you're a Jags fan, you want to see Trevor speed his process up. End of story. And fix the offensive line because it wasn't good enough. But here last week,
run the fucking ball more. They need to run the ball more.
But in that game though, that's part of that's about what Seattle did.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
And they're a hell of a football team. Yeah. That's the thing. Jags are on a short week. They just won their Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Nobody's shocked that they lost. Mm-hmm. I'm not shocked they lost. And I didn't do the thing on Tuesday morning where I put the Jags in the Super Bowl. I'm not saying anybody in here did. Mm-hmm. I'm not even being funny.
No, yeah.
But I'm not going to do the thing where I put him in the outhouse either. Trevor has got it. He's got to play better if you want to be one of those guys, if you want to be one of those teams. And the offensive line obviously has to improve as well. It's not the only thing.
Yeah, we have little things to do better. We lost this game realistically by a touchdown. I mean, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Just like the other games that we won, like it's a slippery slope with us. We have these close games where when you look back and you see what the type of penalties we're getting and the timing of penalties we're getting, like, hey, yeah, we have less drop passes, but we still have drop passes, and it's the timing of them. Like Brian Thomas Jr. had another drop pass that is just like, if you catch that pass, we have a chance to go down and tie this game up.
And that was a dime. But it's
exactly.
the inconsistency.
And that's what I'm saying.
Somebody takes a turn all the time with them.
And that's what I said. It's either Trevor's fault or then it's he does something really good and it's someone else.
Somebody drops the ball.
And it's like, give and pull. Like who are we mad at or whatever. It's just that we have to get these things together. And then the lining up thing, to have a touchdown call back and for not lining up on the line of scrimmage, that was brutal. That was brutal. I'm a Travis Hunter fan. But hopefully that's something that it'll never happen again. But I see that coming up more in the league this year, that you see that they said the refs aren't telling guys physically anymore if they're on the line. Like you usually see the wide receivers do checking. The refs don't have to.
The Young Joker move.
Yeah, they don't have to tell you thumbs up or thumbs down.
Isn't it Young Joker? Who was the wide receiver that
I think it was,
what was his name?
Kadarius Toney.
It's amazing how quick. Young Joker. Isn't that his rap name?
Yeah.
That's the Young Joker rule.
Mm-hmm.
Remember he checked with and then the trick play came back.
Yep.
So I'm with you though, Nate. It's just the little details, and I think Liam Cohen's a really good coach, but he has a ball of clay in Trevor Lawrence, but there are some habits in there that you got to break, and I think his eyes go down sometimes, late in the down, where something will come open over the middle, whether it's a crosser late or a dig, and he just won't see it. Where you say, well, that would have been a hell of a throw. Well, look at the throws that the guys on Sunday night are making. So if you want to hold them to a different standard, that's fine, but you're going to get a different result. Mm-hmm. If you think you're a contender, the quarterback has to play like a quarterback that can elevate. And Brian Thomas Jr. has to play better in that. Hey, there was one play where he got his cleats caught up on somebody, I forget who it was, and it kind of looked like he didn't give maximum effort to go get that ball. And I feel for the guy because he's going through stuff, mentally with the drops and that sort of thing. And he had a really productive game, but these things show up too much. And I didn't think Liam Cohen's game plan was great either. I just didn't. Where were the hots against the blitz at times? I just didn't love it. But talking about the Seahawks, okay, we talked about the defensive line. We talked about the secondary filling in. JSN's a stud. Somebody texted me yesterday. It'd be fun to hear you guys talk about how JSN gets open. Okay, the first thing is everything's off play action. So they create a ton of space late in the down, and that's another thing. Watch the Jags go play action. Their offensive line doesn't sell play action. You watch Seattle do play action, things look married. Mm-hmm. And that's why we were so excited about this offense coming in with Kubiak, because the little snippet we saw early in the season with New Orleans. Better quarterback, better players now. Okay, so when you have time, you have 4 seconds back there to hit a deep over, right? Or, if he's outside, you have the time versus cover 3 that he's going to press that corner inside and then make the play on the comeback or the deep out. And he can also beat press. We saw him beat press yesterday. Mm-hmm. You can play him in underneath stuff, and then you can run him by your shiny new corner in cover 4. Where, just the safety's flat-footed and the corner's just beat. And, so he has all that stuff. But the offense allows him to break off these big chunks. And he's got the perfect quarterback for it because the guy's got an arm.
Yeah.
And they're well coached. And that's what it is. Why is JSN going to lead the league in receiving yards? Possibly because every time he catches the ball, it could be 30 yards. Mm-hmm. Because their offense is set up that way. And it's a lot of fun to watch. And Seattle, 1 of 12 on third down yesterday, finding a way to win on the road. Trayvon Walker is missed when he's not out there.
Really was.
He really is. He's turned into, I don't know if it's flip where he's the Batman and Hines is the Robin, but they're both hell of a player either side. But they really do need each other.
Yeah.
And the times where Walker hasn't been in the game and he can get as many snaps yesterday, they just don't look quite the same.
Yeah, and I also think some of the JSN production is also coming from, quote unquote, getting open can also be the ball being delivered right on time, exactly where it needs to be. To your point with how well Darnold's playing, I think there's probably a lot more sight adjustments going on between those two than people probably appreciate. Where it's all right, here's how we typically say we run this route, but I'm in my stem and I can see I have outside leverage. So, and they're right on the same page
without having to say a word.
Right.
And the other thing is, and it's obvious, but just to explain a little bit more, is when you go and play action, the linebackers, second level of defense, they're pulling them up.
Yep.
And that clears space for the digs, the overs, the late and downs. If you're going to play man, they'll run these crossers, and it's too long to cover. Mm-hmm. And so if the Seahawks want to take the next step, Sundell had a really rough game yesterday. Bradford's been a little bit of a liability in pass pro. Like, you think about buyers at the deadline, maybe there's a situation where they're buying from the Cleveland Browns yard sale. Right. Brought that up last night. So Seattle, they got to feel like they're contenders.
Yeah,
it's so funny to me because, and nothing against the Jags, they made moves this week like they were contenders, right? Like, they're like, we're going to get a fucking corner. Like, we just beat the Chiefs at home on Monday night. And they played a team this weekend that hasn't bought yet, and I think they're looking like that kind of team. Yeah. So, big win for Seattle. Jacksonville's still a good team. I'm not saying they're not.
Oh, I don't.
On the record. For them to be contenders, like, I know they beat the Chiefs last week, and that shows you a lot. But for them to be real contenders, the quarterback has to elevate his game 15%.
Especially because from this point forward, like, copycat league, I thought you talked about what the Seahawks defense did so well. To me, what it boiled down to was McDonald created conditions where Trevor had to beat him. And because of the inaccuracy and those kinds of things, he wasn't able to do it. So, take away the screen game, the rushing efficiency wasn't there. So everybody's going to try to copy that game plan a little bit and force Trevor to win. So
somebody brought it up in the chat. Brenton Strange matters.
Yep.
No question.
Big time.
So, they're not playing with a full deck. They'll be fine.
But look at that. We're both fans of teams where quarterbacks need to step it up, right?
No question. Which team is my team? Which team is my team?
True of my team.
Which team is my team?
Well, I was talking about his Eagles.
Oh, his team. All right, yeah. I'm like, bro, I've been keeping it real.
It's this perfect thing.
The quarterback for my team is fucking balling, baby.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Can't even talk shit about him.
Yeah.
Can't even talk shit about him.
Yeah.
He would be the
dynamite
MVP.
segue.
Speaking of that,
yeah, he would be the MVP right now.
My
right?
NFC Super Bowl team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Nice.
He's nice. But your Pats pick is looking really.
Oh,
looking really good. I was thinking about you this morning watching that.
4-2, baby. They call me crazy.
I'm gonna be unapologetic about this because sometimes, like, people get upset if I have like a love affair with a team in the NFC because the Eagles are also in the NFC, and like I think some people don't realize that like this is a national podcast, so I'm not WIP. Like the Bucs to me have looked as good as anybody with pieces missing out the ass, dude. Mm-hmm. Okay, pieces missing out on the final drive of this ball game. They're down to offensive tackle 3, offensive guard 5, wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6, wide receiver 7, and running back 2. And Baker's been winning games in crunch time all year with that setup. And I just, like, you can't understate. And they can play better as a team. That's the scary part. And Bo knows what I'm talking about. Like, they haven't taken advantage of all their opportunities. There were balls where he was behind early in this game, right after the Warner injury. They were trying to attack the middle of the field, and he kept being behind. And so, like, when they get healthy, they're going to be fucking scary. They already are. And Baker on 3rd and 14. I said this last night. I was like, I don't know what I would think if I walked by Baker Mayfield at the mall. Like, what does he do for a living? But it wouldn't be, if I didn't know who he was, professional football player. He made some professional athletes look like they never played football before in the pocket and out of the pocket on that play. And he's been doing a lot over the past calendar year and a half. Really his whole career creative, but I think he's been taken to the next level. Just he's being talked about like an MVP, and I'm glad they are talking about him like an MVP because he's playing fantastic. And this is a good team win. Good team win for the Bucs. Niners, I feel for.
Dude, I feel for Niners too. I mean, they're banged up too. You saw Fred Warner. It sucks. It feels like there's been a lot of very traumatic injuries for star players in the NFL lately. But so that sucks for the Niners and Fred Warner. But talking more about the Bucs, I think the coolest thing for me is like I was with Bake on Friday night. I was talking with him. He's a fucking cool dude. One thing that he mentioned to me that's like I think flying under the radar a little bit is just the strength of their schedule. Like look at who they've played, who they've beat. Like the 49ers they're not a slouchy team. They're 4-2. I think they're going to give Seattle some problems in the NFC West, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
They just beat Seattle at their place. They're going to play the Lions on Monday night. Then they got, the Saints, who've played decent at times. Then they have the Patriots, the Bills, the Rams, the Cardinals. Like, that's a pretty serious schedule, especially like mid-season. If they can come out in November 8-4, I think that would be incredible with how banged up they are.
Yeah.
I think realistically it'll be more like 7-5. But I mean, the bottom line is they're 5-1, first in the NFC South. It feels like they have an incredibly firm grip on the NFC South and on the NFC as a whole. And they're doing it without all their fucking stars. Like Big Boo, injured, hamstring, Godwin, down, Mike Evans, down. They just paid Luke Gedeke a fuck ton of money. He's been injured. Bucky Irving's hurt. Kalijah Cansey, their first-round pick from a couple years ago, who's developed into a really nice young rusher, he's out. So, like, they're doing it without all of their major guys. And you feel like they're just doing it on the grit and will and determination of Baker, which
careful with the word grit.
Electrifying.
Copyright Detroit.
I believe they're calling it moxie these days.
So Tampa's got moxie. Detroit's got grit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got the Moxie Grit Bowl coming up this week. That's gonna be an incredible game.
Yeah.
Who's the GM for the Bucks?
Jason Light.
Jason Light. That's
Take
who.
A bow.
In situations like this is who we have to start hyping up. Is GMs that know how to build your team.
Yeah.
That know how to build a team and know, hey, if shit goes absolutely bat crazy and all our starters got hurt, what will we have? What type of team will we have now? Because, it's a crazy thing to think about until that shit happens.
Happens every year.
And to hear that Baker is playing with wide receiver 4, 5, 6, or 6, 5, 6, 7, and on a game-winning drive, and there's not saying that there's a drop-off, but making it work, I think that should be applauded. And we talk about all these teams, and you want to throw all these teams a life jacket or a lifeline and be like, oh, well, this person got hurt, that person got hurt. And then you see this situation, and it's just that, hey, the Bucs are winning. And whether you know that they're not winning with Mike Evans or Godwin or all these regular names, they're still winning.
Dude.
Yeah, to that point, Nate, so what I was going to say is, the offense, Baker's completely elevating all these wide receivers around him. Like, look at Tez Johnson. That ball.
Tez Johnson's an MVP candidate.
MVP. That's what's awesome about this. He's going to be MVP forever. That's his nickname.
He should be MVP.
MVP Tez.
Two guys got nicknames.
He caught that is not an easy catch, man.
Totally.
Over the shoulder,
caught
the back half of the ball, and then goes to do like a fucking round off back handspring in pads. It was really cool. And then also like Cameron Johnson, I think Cade Otton's picked it up a little bit. And then, we've been talking about the Bucs offensively here for a good stretch. I want to give the defense some love too. I thought Todd did a really good job of confusing Mac Jones, especially in like critical moments early in that game. Should have been a pick six. And then later in the game with Jamel Dean, Dean had I think a sack force fumble too. And then I got to give Vita some love. Like, Vita's been playing really well. He had one of those games that's kind of just a classic nose guard game where he had some incredible rushes, pushed Mac Jones around in the pocket a little bit, and then flushed him to other guys who get the sacks and go celebrate like crazy. But Vita's playing really well. I think the defense has done a really good job.
Dude, Vita is the best neighbor in the world. If you live next to Vita Vea, like the property value goes up. Like everything's just, you're going to get so many good things are going to happen to you if you line up next to Vita Vea. And what I have written down here, Bo, is how many players in the league are more indispensable to their defense right now than Vita Vea? One of them just left.
I mean, I'm biased. Yeah, Fred Warner.
The other is Chris Jones.
Talked about Surtain a little bit. Surtain. I think without Aiden Hutchinson, the Lions defense would suffer a lot.
It would,
I
think
pretty
they
short.
But they played last year. The point is,
exactly.
I think Tampa, when you look at their defense, like there's kind of this thin veneer that's holding them together, scheme and really good coverage behind it. Their coverage has improved a lot, and they had two corners down yesterday. That's another thing is like, your two starting corners are down. You've got a young slot out there. You've got the safety play was great yesterday, but the linebacker play is not great right now.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to Dennis, I don't think he sees the field in coverage. So, like, ironically, as a smaller guy, I would think he'd be more of a cover guy, but he actually is a little bit better in the run game, the way he kind of slithers through, and, like, he's got a funny way about him. But, like, they were just working that hook window. They were just – the middle of the field was all day yesterday, and to the point where I think they pulled him out for a second. We saw Deion Jones.
Yeah, Deion Jones was out there for a little bit. Yeah. Just to give you some numbers to support that, Mac Jones yesterday, middle of the field, 15 of 18, 228, and a 105 rating.
It's not good, and we've seen Levante David's elevators. When you talk about, like, my dad always used to tell me about those. Hey, you've got these elevators. Your mental elevator is going up your whole career, and your physical elevator is going down. And this is your prime, right, where their elevators are right here. And Levante's mental elevator is way up here, but the physical is starting to go down, right? He's one of the smartest linebackers in the league, and you see him do stuff this year that you're like, all right, he knew where to be.
Yep.
But, I have seen, like, a little bit of tapering off. And so linebackers are concerned for them. Pass rush is a concern for them. Pull up.
Yeah,
where's Reed? Rush. Did Reed leave? Can you pull up Vita Vea's passing chart that I sent you last night? Look at this shit. You see those green lines? There are bodies attached to those green lines. It
usually just, two.
Yeah, usually two.
That's his route tree.
And so, yeah.
I'll pull up his coverage chart.
My favorite thing is, like, fans that, every week now take some route tree from somebody else, and they're like, imagine if we sent our wide receiver. They're like, it wouldn't be the same.
No.
Your receiver's not JSN or, but imagine if your D lineman had this rush tree. And he just makes everybody better around him. I mean, like,
that's part of the reason I just wish Cansey was healthy too, because those are two guys, very different body types, both very productive in very different ways. When you get them on the field together, it's pretty cool. I don't think Logan Hall is quite as disruptive as Cansey would be, but no, that's to your point, Chris. Like, I'm biased. I fucking love Vita. He drafted me and basically pushed me out of, or he was drafted and basically pushed me out of Tampa, and I still fucking love him because he's that cool of a guy and that impactful on the field. I think he's not getting enough love nationally for how well he's playing.
No, he's not. And the Cansey thing, I don't think people realize how good Cansey had become. You talked about it, but, like, Cansey had become this really good player. If they're going to be buyers, they need to buy on the defensive line. And it might be a tackle. We've thrown out Malik Collins. We've thrown out Zach Sealer. This is a really deep group of players that seem to be tradable assets for teams that might be tanking, like the defensive line. You look at, like, Jalen Phillips, guys like that. Yeah. Bradley Chubb, although there's a big number attached to him. Like, you can infuse some pass rush at the deadline, and I really would, because if you believe that this team can win it all, and I do think they can, you have to add the pieces to keep that dream alive. And
the exciting part too is what I was just gonna say is, like, you got to feel like they're gonna get better as long as they can get through this tough schedule, in mid to late October and November, and then come out with these wins, these gritty, these moxie wins that they're getting. Mm-hmm. They're gonna get healthier, and I think it's gonna make them a lot, continue, like, more fun to watch. They're gonna get better, you'd think.
Yeah, especially in the secondary, and to what you guys are saying with adding pass rush, the secondary is gonna, as they get healthy, they're gonna get that play is gonna improve. And I think there are things that, with Bowles, how creative he is from a coverage standpoint, they can protect those linebackers a little bit, get them more involved, maybe in the pressure looks, as opposed to having to win in hook curl windows and those kinds of things.
So going into December, you said I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 games till December. They're what, 5-1?
Yeah.
Okay, I think they go 4-2.
So do I.
Especially if they get some guys back. So
they can get to 8-4 though. Oof.
Dude, the sky's the limit. Now, as far as San Francisco is concerned, I just do want to say this before we move on. What you got?
Well, I think we're going in the same direction. I was going to talk about the Fred Warner injury.
The Fred Warner injury is a heartbreaker, man. Like, anybody who loves football has respect for Fred Warner. Like, he plays the game with respect for the game, dude. Like, the way he plays, the way he leads. Like, obviously not everybody.
Did he break that record yet?
What record?
Like the punch out. He was about to break the franchise record for like forced fumbles.
I'm pretty sure he's going to force another fumble at some point.
He will.
But that dude is like one of the most, and we said it, who are the most indispensable, not, like he's one of the best and one of the most indispensable players in the league. And like, losing him's going to be big. Like you saw it when they go jet motion and get that touchdown before the half. It's the communication, and Nolan, there's a ton of other situations where we saw in that game where you're just like,
have you guys ever experienced that, like losing the green dot during the game?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Like
chaos.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. That's what the tape looked
like.
But
not only do you lose your green dot, in the first 4 plays of the game, he blew up a screen, blew up a run play, and sat in the hook zone with depth enough to like dissuade Baker from hitting, I forget if it was a comeback or a dig, but like it's just all 3, 4, all his skills are on display. Like when you watch the Niners play, like if you pay attention to Fred Warner, he makes them better in so many ways. It's wild because, they have so many injuries, but they're able to hold it together with duct tape because of Christian McCaffrey and Fred Warner. And now you lose one of them. It's tough. Like I think, it's tough to imagine. You got no pass rush, and Fred Warner, losing him behind it is really tough with a young secondary with certain guys that are playing for the first time, communication issues. It's tough.
Totally.
There's an emotional toll I think that comes with a star player, like a leader on your team, getting injured in that caliber during the course of a game. Also, I think that's a tough thing to overcome.
No question.
Like a game changing player like him, there's almost like I imagine a belief that like you kind of play with walking out in the field with that dude. And I asked you this last night, Chris. That injury is so critical for them that I wonder if it kind of changes the way they're thinking about whether they were going to be buyers of the deadline. Because before, when you have Fred, it's like, hey, if we add a rusher here, we could kind of keep things together defensively. But now it's like,
do you really want to do that?
Right.
Like maybe somebody like we talked about, you mentioned Kuntz.
Yeah, like a Kuntz, like it wouldn't cost you much, can factor in the rotation, but
I think the Eagles need to go after Jermaine Johnson.
That'd be great.
I mean, I don't know what it's going to cost, but he came back yesterday and looked pretty good. He wouldn't have to travel far.
But the good thing is about the San Fran is, if you want to try to look at this positively, like they still have a good record, and I feel like their coaches, like with the week under their belt, I feel like Robert Saleh is a good enough defensive coach to get someone in there that can do what they need to still be competitive. But the 49ers as a whole, they're just a team the past couple of years, they've really been ridden with injuries, and they've always found a way to be contenders. And like at the end of the day, when you have a year going like this where guys are getting hurt beginning of the year, you don't really know what your team might look like when it gets to playoff time. All you're thinking about is, hey, we just keep knocking off some wins here and there. If we can sneak in without anyone like kind of figuring it out that, hey, we're still decent, all you got to do is get to the dance.
I think this is one too many.
They've got wins over the Cardinals, the Rams, and the Seahawks.
I think this is one too many. I'm not saying that. Just for them to win the whole thing, like anything can happen. And I got a lot of respect for Kyle Shanahan. Again, I would put him as the coach of the year if the season ended yesterday. But it's like, dude, the defense, they're struggling to rush the passer. You lose your best player. Offensively, you got a backup quarterback throwing to a bunch of guys that don't get a lot of targets customarily. The one good thing is the offensive line, I feel like, has done a pretty good job in protection. Yesterday, the Bucs got to manufacture some pressure, and Vita Vea is a motherfucker. But it's going to be a tough road. Yeah, you got to.
Right?
Yeah, but then you're going to have to outscore people.
Yeah.
There were some situations in that game last night where you're like, ugh. And wide receiver 5, 6, and 7.
Exactly. For them to.
One of them's got 5 broken ribs and 4 ankle sprains.
Oh my god,
that's a wild deal.
Yeah, that's nuts. I thought he was Cap until did some research and
Juwan Jennings.
Yeah.
And let me say this about Juwan Jennings. That's a fucking football player.
Yeah.
Receivers, they're skill guys.
Yeah.
But Juwan Jennings,
he's
to
a
me,
football player.
bro, I got a lot of respect for that motherfucker.
Yeah. I had to look that up because five broken ribs and playing wide receiver sounds absolutely crazy.
Yeah, you take your life into your hands when you put your hands up. You put those balls low.
Exactly.
It hurts to breathe, right? I mean,
it does hurt to breathe.
It has to.
It hurts to breathe.
That's why.
It's not a lot of fun either, playing with broken ribs and getting the slide to you. That's not a lot of fun either.
You did that?
Oh, fuck yeah.
How many ribs were broken?
One at a time, 2 at a time.
So, like, when you say that, Like, is it like a fracture on one of them?
That's the thing.
It's like,
usually,
it could be
they're
small.
usually fractures. Small fracture rib still hurts like
No.
giant,
A broken
bro.
rib is a broken rib. I'm not trying to change it, but like
if
when you
got
hear
five,
that, it's not like one of your ribs was completely snapped.
No, nobody's playing with a snapped rib. Like,
but if you've never heard that before, I feel like that's what you mentally like. Their ribs was broken, and they're still out there. Isn't that like what you think if you're not like?
But somebody that's never had a fractured rib, I'll tell you another one that's terrible. It's a fractured sternum.
Yeah,
that's the fucking worst, dude. That is the fucking worst. That's way worse than broken ribs. Kyle cracked one of my ribs. You know this? My brother. I've told this story a million times on here.
Or what?
No, fuck no. That doesn't sound fun. But no, Kyle came up to joint practices when I was with the Eagles, or no, I was with the Patriots at this point, and he was with the Bears, and he was playing guard, and I stun inside, and I cross face, and I beat him clean as fuck, and like, you know, Kyle's like, I'm not gonna let my big brother beat me, no way, and he whips his giant arm around, like the opposite arm, and just clubs me in the rib as I'm going to swim him, like full speed, like boom. And I don't know if he had a brace on or something, but it was like immediately, like, you know that when you get hit in the ribs real bad, it's like, oh fuck. And I felt it for like the better part of 2 months, and it was Kyle. It was my own brother, dude. So yeah, it sucks.
No.
It sucks ass. 5 of them?
5.
Juwan Jennings is a dog.
Dog.
Okay. So now we're going to the flyovers early.
First stop, beautiful Miami.
Bro, the shots of the fucking stadium and like the beach and stuff. Well, not the stadium because that's like a little further inland. But like, yeah, the shots coming out of commercial make you want to be in Florida.
Like, yeah, if you're a player, you're watching that, you want to be there. And then you get into the locker room, you're like, get me out of here. Get me out of here. Especially
players only meetings, and you're like,
oh my goodness. Yo. First off, Miami Dolphins.
If you even show up.
Believe it or not, the Dolphins, they had plenty of chances to win this game, and they looked pretty decent. Their defense, they looked decent on offense for what they did, putting up points and staying competitive in this game. I think that their defense, Rasul Douglas is maybe him and Phillips, but I can't even throw Phillips in there because he missed a sack that would probably help them win that game.
That's a tough guy to get down. I hear you, and he's wearing it today.
He got hula hooped by him, though, bro.
He ain't the only one.
Yeah, I know, and it's still bad for all of them.
No question.
But no, I hear what you're saying. Like, but the Dolphins, their defense, they have players and names, but I just don't know.
Defensive
the whole
cheeks.
It's bad, bro.
And here's the thing: the Chargers are going to get all hyped up, and they should. What's his name? Had a big game. Not Vildor. We were just talking about the Bucks.
Vidal. No.
The fucking running back.
Vidal. Yeah.
Kamani Vidal. He had a big game, right? But
running
like, if you're thinking like, if you're the Chargers internally, if a move was on the table, a move is still on the table because that's the Dolphins' defense. I'm gonna tell you what it felt like.
Grab what you call it. If I'm the Chargers, who go grab A-Chain.
Yeah, exactly.
Just see
everybody watching
that
game and watching him play. Like, there's no good angle. The one he took to the house, there's no good angle.
There's no good angle, but he'll make it.
But here's what I think watching that game. Can I say what I said last night again? Just the you know, the reference is a little bit on the line, but it's just like it came out that way. I'm talking about the rewatching the Dolphins and Chargers game, and there are some good players on the field. We've named them, right? I'm not saying there's not a lot of good players on the field, but especially when you watch the Chargers, McConkey can play, right? Vidal, great game. You know, but like it looks like 21 other people were like, I'd love to play a pickup game with an elite NFL fucking quarterback, and it's like a make-a-wish thing, dude. Like the quality of his play relative to everything else going on in the field, it's so funny, bro. You know, like I heard people say, Jackson Dart beat fucking Justin Herbert. No, he didn't. Like, go back and watch. He's under siege. They've got a guy playing tackle by the name of Bobby Hart, who I rushed against in 2017 or something, and I was like, yeah. And he's been on 11 teams since. Like, they've got guys playing up front for them that are just like, they're not supposed to be out there, respectfully. And it sucks, like, because he is, as evidenced by the end of that game, a fucking nightmare to deal with. Like a nightmare. I mean, to let Miami back in the game, the one thing the Chargers have to clean up, besides getting healthy and all that shit, is they've got to fix the red zone.
Yeah.
The red zone let the Dolphins back in the game, not scoring points in the red zone. But late in that game to make that play, for it to feel like it was over. You know, like the whole charging thing that people say, like they're charging. They were charging for a second.
They were. And then Tua was Tua-wing, whatever it's called.
Dude, we got to get into that fucking for a second.
Tua was doing what he does. And that pick at the end of the game, not that it really mattered, but in the grand scheme of things, it does matter. Like Miami's, like it's just how do you throw a pick on a lateral play, on a last minute ditch play? It just looked bad in Miami. And then obviously the biggest thing that coming out of this game is Tua in the media. I said it online a few weeks ago when I seen it in his eyes. He's not a guy. They should do everything they can in their power.
Keep him away from a microphone.
To keep him away from a microphone. Yeah. I think he's at that point where maybe like his tolerance and his going up there to be the company man and say the right thing, I think that's out the window for him right now. So I would try to keep him away from the media because everything he's saying, I just think it's lighting the ignition in the fire in the locker room more in a bad way.
What he said, Bo, if it was somebody like an anonymous source that reported that they were having player-only meetings and people were late and missing them, you'd be like, God, this is really bad. The only way it could be worse is if the quarterback is relaying that news. Like to me,
it's so frustrating.
They need to mushroom cloud the whole thing down there. And I know I've said this for years, and I'm not even going to do a "you're dumb, I'm smart" thing, but like Oprah.gif, dude. Shrugging Oprah.gif. I mean, like, it's exactly what the fuck I thought it would look like eventually, and the bottom fell out. There's no culture. Pardon my take, guys are geniuses about this. They're like, hey, Mike McDaniel, pull your fucking pants up, dude. You got capris on, and you're 1-5, dude. You can't be wearing capris. I think they ran some stat about coaches in capris and joggers is him and Aaron Glenn, dude.
The only one.
You got a little less ankle. Like, it's the little things that matter. And I think Mike is a really good offensive mind. I think he at a point. Here's what I think. I'm just gonna tell you. I think he's known that Tua wasn't the guy for 3 years now, and he just had to deal with it because you don't get these fucking head coaching opportunities every day, and he's had to support his players and back them up, and but he was dealt an imperfect hand, dude, which is like, I've got all these fucking skill guys and I got this great system and a run game, but like if the quarterback can't elevate the group, eventually our window closes, and now look at the roster. The roster's terrible, and honestly, Chris Greer should be shown the door before the trade deadline because, and I saw somebody talking about this, is like, if you don't show him the door, he might hold on to some of the players and try to win more games to finish the season. Like, it's got to be a fire sale, dude. Like, go down the roster. They got to blow it up. It's over, bro. It's over. I told you.
It's over.
And I told you.
Yeah.
By the way, Minka Fitzpatrick is there. Phillips. Chubb. Waller. Somebody rescue Waller, dude. He can still play.
Yeah,
I think Waller's right where he wants to be right now.
Waller in L.A. They got red zone issues. Waller in L.A.
There you go.
Yeah.
Guys played in Vegas, Miami, L.A.
True.
And he's sober.
I know. How about that? The guy's a fucking amazing human being, dude. It was crazy.
God bless him.
Tua, I saw this stat this morning. Tua's 1-15 in his last 16 games with teams versus teams with winning records. I know it's not just Tua; it's also the Dolphins. But then he throws his team under the bus. Okay.
But it doesn't matter because his kids still love him when he goes home.
But he's not, and obviously it goes without saying. I mean, but dude, he's not even the big problem this year. He's not. He hasn't played. He hasn't been the huge problem this year.
The defense is trash.
Defense is trash, and they just don't. They don't pay attention to details down there. They don't install the details. They don't pay attention to details.
It's all like symptomatic of dudes being checked out. Right?
They're checked out,
and it's Miami.
They're already in Mykonos.
You could exactly.
That's the problem. People book the trips to Miami. They're in Miami.
They're in Miami.
So I feel that's why they're late to the team meetings. They're coming back from Greece.
And then a guy quote tweets fucking Tua.
Yeah, how great is that?
And everything with a grain of salt, right?
Well, everything with but it's probably true.
Guys got cut and shit. Cut and get mad. But this guy was like self-deprecating. He was like, for the whole 3 seconds.
I missed that.
Yeah.
There's this guy. Pull this up, Cal.
Yeah, he said he was on the practice squad, and he was like, for the 3 seconds I was in Miami, he goes, I'm almost positive Tua was late to a meeting, like, while I was there.
And somebody just pointed this out in the chat, and I said this last week on the Tuesday pod. This is from Tales of a Weed Smoker. McDaniels took over the same team that Brian Flores has, and he's too soft. The players hated Brian because he held them accountable. They hated Vic Fangio. They ran him out of town. Brian Flores was too mean, and now I'm hearing reports that the Dolphins want more of an authoritarian to be their head coach. I'm
make
like,
it make
golly,
sense,
dude.
Make it make sense.
You know, they just
make it make sense to for real. But those guys,
demented were some of the takes that I was reading in the heyday of the Dolphins. Demented takes, bro. I'm like, you guys are just nuts down there, huh? Like, it's just lemmings, dude. You know what lemmings are? They just run off the cliff. They just follow each other off the cliff. It used to be a video game. They're like a little rodents, marsupials.
Yeah, they just hop off the cliff.
It's like how everybody did with the take that they were an elite football team or that he was an elite quarterback. Get out of here. Okay. Next flight.
To Carolina.
Oh my
God. We them boys.
Oh my God, Charlie in the chat. I didn't say this. You see what Charlie just said at the bottom?
Can't see it.
That's pretty fucking funny there. He said, well, he doesn't have the arm to throw them over the bus.
No, he doesn't.
That's a wild statement, and I didn't say it.
That is
okay.
funny.
Boys Panthers.
This was an awesome game. Rico's revenge game, as it were. Rico Dowdle finished about almost 250 yards from scrimmage in this game. Outstanding performance. He's on a career year trajectory, currently on pace to break his personal record in scrimmage yards by a good margin. Offensive line was awesome in this game. Obviously, it's the Cowboys defense. The Cowboys have struggled against the run all season long, but 2.6 yards before contact per carry. That's unbelievable. And then Bryce, this is what we talk about with Bryce. Like, when he's in a good situation, when he's supported by a run game, when he's well protected, he made it look easy out there. And coming into the game, Greg Olsen was talking about how the offense, they wanted to improve in terms of right now they're passing the ball best out of the gun and they're running the ball best under center, and they want to kind of be more efficient out of both alignment. In this game, Bryce, 123 rating under center, 144 rating on play action. They didn't do too much gun run, but Dowdle averaged over 5 yards per carry when they did. So just a great performance from the offense, encouraging to see them make the progress in those areas that they're working toward. George Pickens, golly, agent of chaos. I mean, just when you think you've seen it all, he's like a reckless driver with the ball in his hands.
Yes.
I mean, there is a play.
Without it, too, sometimes.
No doubt. There is a play where he was holding the point of the football, running with the ball. I've never
honestly,
seen that
if my 2-year-old daughter June was like a professional football player for a day and had George Pickens' athleticism, like, that's how she would play the game.
Exactly.
Like, she's just a tank, and she just does what she just flies around,
running around, jumping around.
Yeah. First, the whole thing. You saw the one where he's holding. You said that he was holding the point of the ball.
Tries to hurdle a guy.
How about the one where he hurdles? I love his move where he hurdles and then he's like, "Fuck you! I don't know why I tried to do that." And just like mushes the guy.
He had another one where he tried to box jump Mike Jackson. It wasn't a hurdle because he wasn't running. He just tried to flat foot jump over a defender with the ball in his possession.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like, this is like dangerous for the offense.
But then he'll
crazy.
take the ball like 70 yards, on a
slant
down.
Yeah. Nine receptions, 170 yards, and a touchdown. He had a great game, and Panthers rushing defense, just kind of the last group to shout out. They held Javonte Williams. I mean, the Cowboys coming into the game, they've been one of the best rushing offenses in the league. Held Javonte Williams to 29 yards on 13 carries. Jaden Blue, 0 yards on 3 carries. Derek Brown made a bunch of plays. Patrick Jones getting edges set. Rose Boom knifing in gaps. They did a good job there in that front.
Dude, I like Derek Brown. You mentioned him coming back. Like their front looks great. Like as far as the fundamentals and stopping the run. I mean, like beating the Cowboys defense is one thing, but like slowing down the run offense is pretty impressive. It's a good day at the office. 2 weeks in a row, the Panthers have held, I think it was Miami to like 19 yards and then 31 yards this week. Like that's pretty fucking good couple weeks.
Bates.
Bates, yeah, shout out to Bates.
It's all over the TV.
All over the TV.
Javonte Williams, 31 on 19 carries. And McMillan needs to catch the ball. That's something that's kind of popping up a little bit, but he's going to be a stud. I love that Dowdle said before the game, buckle up to his old team.
Yeah.
And then he proceeds to run for 206. And did you say this? But he's the first player this decade to run for 200 back-to-back.
No, I didn't say that.
It's crazy.
Holy shit.
That's crazy. It's a crazy stat. But Bryce, again, dude, like, get off his back. Get off his little back. Get off his little back. That guy can play, dude. Get off my Prince. Get off the young Prince, Bryce Young, dude. I love that fucking guy.
Bryce.
I'm gonna ride or die with this dude. It's gonna get to the point where like I'm gonna meet him and be like, bro. I'm like, all these years I've been sticking up for you. And he's gonna be like, who are you?
Remember how when Josh Allen got the MVP, he shouted out the guy who like works in facilities.
Yes.
Bryce is gonna win the MVP.
Bryce Young shout out.
Bryce gonna win the MVP and shout out Chris.
Yeah, it's too bad David Tepper probably hates me because I'd love to have Bryce Young on the show, but
yeah, I told you I ran back like 10 rows to give him 3 green light hats when we were leaving New Orleans.
Who'd you give them to?
To Bryce.
No way.
We were on the same flight, and whether he left those hats on the plane or not, or he might have.
Yo, I'm about to message Bryce right now, dude.
He might have
I'm about to message him right now,
green light
bro.
hats, like including the.
I'll be like, you better wear that hat, bro.
Like the exclusive.
Bryce, if you're listening, just put it in your locker.
Yeah,
right?
Sit it in the locker.
Tepper probably confiscated those.
I saw this thing that we just shared. I thought that was hilarious. Bryce after he tosses his government mandated pick.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious, dude. It is true. It is true. Like it's like he gets it out of the way, dude. You got to flush it.
You said it yesterday. He did it, and it wasn't no fault to his own.
No, that was a McMillan drop.
Yeah, and you said it. It was like, there's the Bryce Young early pick.
But also, like I also said, go name search Bryce Young on X after that interception, and it is a clown show. It's just people putting, the gif of like people putting the clown makeup on. Like, shut the fuck up, watch the game, and then tell me what you think. Don't just react to every pick you see on the score app is Bryce's fault.
His ability to get it was last week and it was this week on the touchdown. His ability to get the ball from hit to up in a throwing motion is the quickest I think we've ever seen. It's so fast.
Quick draw,
dude.
He would be
put him in a Western.
All right, so James Barrett says in the chat, what's a fully realized Kyler, a hot start and then ending the season with 6 losses? We don't know if Bryce is able to mirror that until the season is over. I don't know what you mean, and I don't know if you're comparing him to Kyler, but that would be the laziest comparison of all time because the guys play totally different. They really do.
Totally different.
Yeah. They really do play totally different. Promise you. And I don't know if that's you saying it is or it isn't, but I'm not the smartest. So,
who we got next?
Oh, we got Cards and Colts, which is a game that I
of Kyler.
Speaking of Kyler, yeah. Speaking of the short king, he wasn't on the field.
He was out in this game, Chris. But I was really impressed with Jacoby Brissett, man. He looked pretty good. It was actually kind of refreshing to see this offense run like as designed, on tempo. Jacoby Brissett played pretty good, man. And let's remember that he used to be an Indianapolis Colt, but he had 44 pass attempts. He had 27 for 44, but he had 320 yards. He had one pick that he threw on a short field that he wanted back. But I think people, I've been a firm believer that the Colts are the best team in the AFC South, and I will continue to bang that drum, especially, because I like to poke at Dr. Facts a little bit. And so people are probably wondering, why was this game so close? The Cardinals have been banged up. honestly, this was a pretty good football game. I actually was surprised. I thought it would be a little sloppier. Daniel Jones played pretty well. He had 212 yards passing. He had one pick on like a boot. I don't think he even saw the defender. I'm going to blame the shadows in Indianapolis for that one. It was kind of a weird surface. But he played well, and the Colts offense just looked really balanced. Jonathan Taylor, Wisconsin Badger stud, had another great day. He had a touchdown, 123 yards rushing. I've been really impressed with just the Colts offensive attack, the way they're running bootlegs, the way they're moving the pocket, the way they're kind of just driving the ball down the field. And there was a lot of that from the Cardinals too. I don't know, like a couple other things that stood out for me. Like I said, I was pretty impressed by the Cardinals offense. They are down a lot of their key playmakers. We know James Conner got hurt. DeMarcado left this game also, so they're down to Bam Knight for their running back. And then Marvin Harrison Jr., who's been playing pretty well last couple of weeks, he had one of those head whiplash.
Yeah, I saw that. That's scary.
That one looked rough. Yeah, so he left the game. I guess what I'm trying to say is, the Arizona offense kind of rode Trey McBride and Zay Jones in a pretty solid, good game from Jacoby Brissett, which made this an overall like a pretty good game to watch. It was a pretty clean football game, man. Not a lot of slop. Good game, 31-27. I was impressed by the Colts winning this game. I think they're gonna. It's just like it's hard to win fucking games in the NFL. People forget that. All right, so even when you're playing a 2-3 Colts team at the time, like to walk away from this with a win, I'm still kind of impressed by the Colts. I like what I saw, and I thought they looked pretty good. I also thought it was just interesting to see this Arizona offense without Kyler. That's what I was most interested in.
I agree.
Like they look really on schedule.
I don't want to give too much love to the Cardinals. Obviously, the Colts won the game, but I totally agree with the way you put it, Bo. It was almost like refreshing to see them execute plays as designed.
Yeah.
All season long, you look at the Cardinals tape and you're seeing these throws they aren't taking or things like that. And I was just curious. I looked at their success rate coming into this game. They've hovered around like the low 30s each week coming in to week 6. And then this week they jumped to 43%. That efficiency is right in line with, even if you didn't see this game, anybody who's listening, you saw the Chiefs play last night. That's how efficient the Chiefs were from a success rate standpoint. So they were right in line with those guys.
How tall is Jacoby Brissett?
Got to be 6'2.5", 6'3".
Taller than
That's
Kyle.
what I noticed a little bit.
Yeah,
he was dishing the ball in the middle of the field pretty well, Nolan.
Absolutely.
6'4", listed 6'4".
6'4".
6'4", 235.
Dude, Jacoby is he's like a perfect teammate. He's a perfect leader when it comes to hey, you're in a triage situation. You want this guy starting games for you, and he can play, man. I don't know if he's anybody's future. I don't know if he's gonna get the Daniel Jones treatment at some point, but he can play. He's better than people think, and. We said it Thursday, this was a trap spot for the Colts. So good on them for winning it, because the Cardinals, who when it came to actual football, 2 weeks ago, they were up 2 scores late in that game.
Yeah.
So they had done all the right things to put themselves in a position to win, and they did boneheaded, stupid shit. They're better than that team that lost that game to Tennessee, and they were also going to give their best, because Gannon, again, who I thought made a mistake, put his hands on somebody, got fined. It's not a death wish for the coach. You don't lose your locker room if you handle it the right way. He came back on Monday. I'm sure he had a
dope as hell.
He was dope as hell. Kendall Roy. But it comes down to teams in the NFL, when they have that kind of performance, always come back and play better, and that's what the Colts dealt with. Colts are starting to get people's best shots.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Is that an indication that the Colts are for real? We've been talking maybe they might turn into the pump game. Is that an indication?
Pull up the Colts. I'll tell you when we're going to know the Colts are for real. Pull up their schedule. But go ahead, Bo.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Chris. Their schedule. I mean, I like the Colts. I like this Daniel Jones resurgence. I love
this Daniel Jones fella.
This Indiana Jones guy. I love Jonathan Taylor. I love watching. I played against Quentin Nelson. I love seeing him bulldoze people in space, and he had a really good block on a couple of those JT runs. So I've been kind of like I like the Colts. I just think I don't know.
We're gonna find out November 23rd and November 30th.
Their schedule has been easy. That's what I was getting at.
That 4-week stretch, Chris, that starts there.
November 23rd.
Texans, Jags, Hawks.
And I think the Texans, one of the things about the Colts, their offensive line has been so good. I don't know exactly how they played yesterday because that was a side TV game for me.
Played well.
They're pretty good.
But they're
just
really
solid.
good. That group's really good. But when they play the Chiefs, like we'll know a little bit more. And I expect that to be a good football game.
Next 4 games, at Chargers, home against the Titans, at Steelers, home against the Falcons.
Whew. They can get off to a hot start here.
I believe in the
I've been
offense.
liking the
I want to see the defense. Yeah,
the defense is the thing. Once Patrick Mahomes and that group right now, it could be a little.
And they were down Ward, obviously, with the pregame.
Holy
concussion.
shit,
yeah.
dude!
And
that was crazy.
That was crazy.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
And it looked intentional, but it wasn't. Like tight end
Friendly
looked
fire.
like he was trying to Terry Tatum, but he was going for the ball.
Did you hear about Richardson?
Yeah, I heard about Richardson.
Bro, I guess in his locker, he was warming his shoulders up with a elastic band, and he had the band hooked to his
and
hanger.
The metal part came back.
To where you hang your clothes at in your locker, and he pulled it.
What the fuck are you doing, dog?
But think about how many times you've probably done that before.
I've never done that.
But I'm just saying, if you're a guy in the locker and that's how you warm up, I think if you've used that and it's never snapped on you, you probably think it's not gonna snap.
The metal end is on the hanger, the metal hanger thing.
I think that the actual bar in the locker flew off.
The bar flew off.
Yes, and at him,
he broke his orbital bone.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of tensile strength coming off, his shoulders or whatever. I don't know if I'm trusting that bar.
But I'm if you've been doing it and it's never came off, you probably have that.
Maybe an awareness issue.
But I couldn't think about that, bro. Like elastic.
Did he see the field?
Did he see the field?
No, I mean, I hope somebody gets a hold of Anthony Richardson at some point, having nothing to do with this injury, and teaches him the game. If Sean McVay had 2 years with him, I'd love to see what would happen. But this is just another bump in the road for him, and it's so unfortunate because trade deadline's coming up. Not that he was going to be a tradable asset for this year, where somebody's going to get him to add him to the team and expect him to produce. But I don't know how that affects that whole thing.
Mercury's and Gatorade, another event you could put under there. This is a Mercury and Gatorade event for sure. Your backup quarterback breaks his orbital bone stretching before the game. WTF.
And an orbital bone, few weeks to a month or two for a severe orbital break. We don't know.
I just can't imagine I couldn't imagine after an orbital break, what it feels like to put your helmet on. When you put your helmet on, it literally squeezes your
the
face.
fuck out of your face.
And
you look like Creed Humphrey. we were freezing. There's a fight. During the fight last night, we were freezing it, slow motion, trying to enhance. And then on one freeze frame, it was Creed Humphrey, and it was just his whole. He looked like a damn Shar-Pei, dude.
His
poor
face
guy.
to helmet ratio.
Oh, it's crazy.
That's the funniest.
His face needs more square footage, bro. His face has a 1-bedroom studio apartment in Manhattan. That we need to get him in a bigger, maybe a single family home. Okay, so the next thing is Rams Ravens, and I'm really interested to take a look at this thing.
Oh, Rams Ravens.
Because I want to see if the defense actually played better. I know they didn't get any pressure. I heard a stat that was kind of troubling. No. About the lack of pressures.
The Rams and the Ravens. The Ravens, they disappointed me. If you go back and you watch this game, if you watch the first drive, and you're a Ravens fan, you're okay. Okay, we got a drive going. We got Derrick Henry going. We moving the ball. And then you get in the red zone. You get a stupid penalty. You end up having to kick a field goal. Not the worst thing in the world. You got some points. And then just the rest of the game, it's Derrick Henry looks like he's back. He's getting some runs for 7 to 10 yards, and then it's a fumble by Zay Flowers. And then they're getting penalties. They get down to the red zone one time, and this is the funny thing about the tush push is that they try to run the tush push with Mark Andrews, looked absolutely fucking awful, and it didn't work. It just totally did not work at all. And then you're like, you know what? This is our season. We need a little boost. Instead of taking points, kicking the field goal, keeping the game, like let's go for it on 4th down, and you fucking get stopped in the red zone. 4th down. They literally scored 3 points on their first drive, and to see that this game ends 17-3 and the Ravens can't get in the end zone is devastating. But the crazier thing is that Cooper Rush, not saying that he's the worst for them, but they finally put Snoop Huntley in the 4th quarter, and the Ravens offense looked like
a lot better.
It looked a lot better. It looked like they were running plays with Lamar Jackson.
Quarterback.
Exactly.
I know but I'm just
it looked a little bit like the way they were with Lamar in the sense of how the plays on offense were running. He had a nice little spark run where maybe he got like 20, 25 plus yards on a scramble.
Pole play? On a scramble.
It was on a scramble. It was on a scramble, but it just looked like
they can still run
offense.
the pole play off, with him. It's like you can't do that so much with Cooper Rush.
And maybe seeing that little sample size, maybe they'll give him a chance to start. But I don't know what's up with the Ravens. Their defense is just terrible. And then LA, they
play with their food. It sounded like.
Yeah.
Because I gave out, before I knew that it was going to be like a windy monsoon there, I gave out Rams over team total. And supposedly, Adams dropped some balls. They missed the field goal. And they were in range of getting there at the end of the fucking game, it seemed like.
In their first half went Rams drives, missed field goal, fumble, field goal, punt, end of half.
Now I'm understanding.
Yeah.
Haven't gotten there yet. I will get there soon.
Puka Nacua, there were bad news for the Rams.
I saw that.
Likely to miss some time for a sprained ankle. He left early to go into the locker room, came back out in the 3rd quarter. But yeah, after the game, likely to miss a decent chunk of time.
You want to hear a fucked up stat? The year 2000, the Ravens gave up 165 points. The year 2025, so far, the Ravens will give up 177 points.
Yeah, going up.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. And do you think that ball was out on the goal line where Jared Verse pulled it out?
Yeah,
because there was no whistle.
The Mark Andrews.
You can't let these sneaks go for 10 seconds and then if the ball pops out, not give it to the defense.
Again, they don't know how to officiate it the right way.
I know, but that must be anti-Ravens bias. I'm just joking. Because his face immediately. And also for the Rams got a couple problems going to Jacksonville. They have no Puka, and the kicker is a problem right now. It seems like Cardi's a problem.
Together.
Speaking of problems, Browns Steelers. Can you pull up the Jamar Chase quote?
Oh my God.
Well, no, we can honestly put. Why don't we? You want to put that in the Bengals breakdown? Would that be better? I just can't wait to hear this quote again.
We'll get in the Bengals.
We'll get into the Bengals.
We'll get it.
All right. So what we need to talk about is, first off, I had one eye on this game, and I will get back to looking at it. But I thought Dylan Gabriel threw a lot of hospital balls. Like a lot of hospital balls.
Threw the ball, what, 52 times?
52 times, and 14 of them could have got guys killed.
Only a couple of them were over 10 yards.
It's a terrible situation to play quarterback in. I just want everybody to know that, and I do think think it's going to be time. Right, he's got the best seat, not playing quarterback for this team, and I know everybody wants to see him play quarterback, and I want make the change.
Yeah.
For one, so the discourse can stop and we can just watch football because both sides of this thing, it's become it's become ridiculous, dude. I want to see the kid play football, but more than anything, as a player, Dylan Gabriel's not giving you a chance to win. But I don't know if Shador's going to give you I know Shador's not going to give you a chance to win. Now, they do play Miami coming up. There are some softer landings that maybe
you could throw it in there.
You could throw him in there. He could learn on the fly. I think the coach is going to get fired soon. Like, we thought that there were reports that he was going to get fired, and then this morning, me and Nolan watched his fucking press conference, which was just like, I wanted to hear what a dead guy sounded like, and we turned it on, and like, it was even worse than you'd think. Like, God bless the Browns media pool, because like some of the questions were just like, bro, do you think he wants to answer this question right now? They're going to fire him at the end of the day today, probably.
Some beat writer asked him if he's considering giving up play calling, which as the acting OC is somebody asking if you're considering like quitting your job.
Yes. And also like
there and answer that.
Also like
it's crazy.
I don't know if you know, but there's like a train coming down the tracks that's going to be here in like 2 hours, and it's really me taking this opportunity to address the media. They're sitting there talking about how they're going to stick the landing on replacing me. That's the only reason that I'm here right now doing this.
Yes.
And the funniest fucking part of the whole thing was this guy, his name was like Joe, like 3 minutes in, they were like, we'll go to Joe. And they were like, Joe. And they were like, oh, Joe's not here. We'll come back to Joe. And Stefanski's like, fuck me, Joe. And then like another 4 minutes goes by. They're like, oh, we've got Joe. And Joe was like, oh, I'm sorry, Kevin. My cat ran across my keyboard. And so I couldn't respond.
Like,
and Stefanski goes, that doesn't sound very believable.
Yeah, he just didn't even smile.
Like deadpan, dude.
Same old shit as always in these press conferences.
Bro,
like,
it was the most painful press conference of all time. Nolan was like, he started playing it, and then he turned it down because I was watching film, and I was like, no, turn it up.
Turn it off.
I was like, I need to hear this whole thing. Like, this is the most fucked up shit in sports, dude. But Stefanski's a dead man walking. They probably should change quarterbacks at some point. Do I think that Shedeur is going to look great out there? No, I don't. Do it. And if he doesn't look great, does that close the door on his pro career? No, it doesn't.
No.
But if he doesn't look great, will people shut up? No, they won't.
No.
It's just the Browns are like here just to feed the lowest common denominator talking points this year, which is like we're worried about who's playing quarterback for the Browns. It's like assault playing quarterback for the Browns. Like, you get assaulted every play, dude.
If you go back,
who wants to play quarterback?
If you go back and watch that game, by the third quarter, middle of the third quarter, the Steelers were letting the wide receivers run free, like deep down the field, because they knew
couldn't get it there.
They knew 5-yard passes were coming, and they were just sitting waiting to jump. Darius Slay almost had a pick six, but it was like he stopped and stumbled because he was like, I can't believe he's throwing the ball to me because I'm already defending this right here.
Dude, it's wild. It's wild.
And part of just one more thing to add with Shedeur, part of the practical reasoning we should see him at some point is this organization's already looking at the 2026 draft, and they have to know exactly what they have in the quarterback room to be able to evaluate that against the draft class.
You can't sit him all year and then just have him on the roster. You got to play him at some point so you know what you got. And I think that time's coming soon.
Totally.
You know.
Guys, can I say a couple things about the Steelers, Chris?
Absolutely.
I fucking love Darnell Washington.
Where's
number 80? He looks like an offensive tackle. Like, you know how JP played tight end, and we all talk about that, and how massive he is? When I'm watching Darnell Washington run with the ball, I'm like, this is what like Jason Peters looked like, probably playing tight end. It's great. But I've been pretty critical of Aaron Rodgers. He's kind of a lightning rod for conversation in the media world. He's actually, it feels like a very good fit for him in Pittsburgh right now. Like, he looked very comfortable against a bad Browns team. I'm not going to really look too far into the Steelers win because the Browns were that horrific, and it was frankly a pretty tough game to watch at times. Like, anytime you have Dylan Gabriel throwing the ball over 50 times, you kind of want to blow your brains out. I'm starting to really like the connection
Breece
with
Hall
DK.
Breece Hall said, some teams shoot ourselves in the foot. We shoot ourselves in the head.
Right.
Hell of a scouting report there.
It's fun to see him and DK Metcalf get going. But then I think more importantly than anything, Steelers are 4-1. AFC North is historically a tough league. It's always a dogfight, especially in November and December in the AFC North, you know, with how the Ravens have been historically, how the Bengals have been at times, Nate. And so it's kind of cool to see the Steelers in the driver's seat doing like what they were kind of planning on doing, which is get a veteran quarterback, ride their defense and run game. And then I want to give some dudes some love here from the Pittsburgh defense because they were kind of shitty at times earlier this season. I thought it was cool to see Jalen Ramsey have 2 sacks. It's 2 more than Myles Garrett had, which is funny. And then
he said that in the game.
He said he's going to tell his kids about this game. I had 2 sacks in the same game that Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt played in.
It's crazy, dude. Yeah. Well, he is a hell of a football
TJ
player.
had half a sack. He split one with Highsmith, but Nick Herbig had a really good game too. He rushed really well. He was hitting that Euro cross chop all day, Chris. I think he had like 6 or 7 pressures on it. So good to see the Steelers firmly in the driver's seat, the AFC North, and nice to see Rodgers kind of comfortably running that offense against a bad Browns team. But let's not forget that the Browns defense.
Yeah, defense is still a motherfucker, dude. And I think Rodgers physically, at the very least, looks very good this year. And then compared to what he looked like last year,
he was getting that ball out quick. Even Myles Garrett was pissed after the game. Said even when he was running butt naked, which people probably don't understand what he was saying.
Yeah.
The fact that even if he didn't get blocked, he was saying that he wouldn't have been able to get.
Yeah, look back at the tape, and somebody's going to tell me like Myles Garrett didn't do anything. I'm like, well, they kind of based the whole game plan
get
on
the
him
ball
not
off
2 weeks in a row.
Yep. The one thing he could do
He's
more
been
of,
catching so much attention, dude.
The one thing he could do more of, in my opinion, and like I do think he's the best pass rusher on the planet. Like if you're edge rusher, if you're like, bro, like. I know some people are going to be like, but Benito has more sacks. This guy, bro, Myles Garrett is like a fucking cyborg. He's Julius Peppers reincarnated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if you just watch everything they have to do to take him or TJ Watt out of the game, the thing that TJ does a little bit more of is he affects the game in like PBUs, blowing up screens, that sort of thing, where Myles is going. He's in a Jim Schwartz defense. His job in that defense is rush, crush, close. Mm-hmm. So literally it is rush if it's pass, if you got to set the edge, you crush, and if the block goes away, it's close. And like honestly, like that can be a little bit limiting sometimes. Like it sounds like the greatest thing in the world, but like there's not a lot of flexibility to use him other ways. He's got to do more of that stuff. Nothing he could possibly do is going to turn the Browns season or franchise around. That's what like before last year we were talking about the Browns should trade him. Are the Browns going to be good by the time he's still like I don't know? He's going to be good another.
They should just try to put him at running back.
No, bro.
They got a good running back.
Hey,
I mean, if he is Peppers reincarnated, he'll play for a couple decades.
He's going to play for a couple decades. Yeah. So you got him for a long time.
Yeah.
True.
But so we'll go to the next game, and the next game should honestly, I know what you probably got a list, but I think the next game it dovetails nicely into the Bengals game. And I'll just say I want to start with this. The Bengals, who we're going to talk about in a second, like how they played yesterday, but Jamar Chase on the importance of the game against Pittsburgh on Thursday. Just the rankings we got going on right now. We know the Steelers are going to try to come in and raw dog us. We know the Steelers are going to try to come in and raw dog us and kill us.
That's crazy.
But we going to be ready for that challenge, and we going to be waiting for it. We know the Steelers are going to come in here and try to give us AIDS and fucking nut all over our stadium and fucking like decapitate us. Like what, dude?
It totally was like, a bet between him and a teammate that he had to slide that in.
There's no way that was a bet. The framing of that.
They really feel that way though.
No, that's an NFL rivalry for you.
And then on top of it,
NFL rivalry.
That's something other than football.
If you don't believe it, there's a quote from Tomlin, obviously upset at the fact that Joe Flacco would even be traded to the Bengals.
Yeah.
So
this is sour grapes from Tomlin, but at least he's out in the open about it. The quote is, to be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think is good enough to make your day one starter to a division opponent who's hurting. Doesn't make sense. Well, a couple things here.
That's true.
Number one, Joe wasn't playing very well. It's not like he traded fucking Joe Burrow. He traded Joe Flacco.
But you thought of him enough to have him as your starter.
Well, that says something about the other quarterbacks, doesn't it? Gotcha.
True.
True. And then second is maybe they don't want to win games.
Yeah.
And I think that's the undertone here.
You always say that. You should make a book of the arts of tanking, the right way.
Well, look at what the Jets did. I swear the Jets, if they wanted to win that game yesterday, could have won that game. If they just decided, I know it sounds so simple, but like I was like, just fucking decide to win this game. Like I can beat man in Madden. I could be the fucking Titans and be playing the 85 Bears, and I can scheme up one man beater, dude. Like, you know, like get somebody on a fucking linebacker.
Like, do you think there's a script to be able to lose and be like, oh, he's gonna run this? Oh, I got the perfect play. That's not.
No, but it's just subtle things. Like it's subtle things. Like you know, like trading Joe Flacco in division. You know, like in saying that, you really don't give a shit. You're just like, hey, yeah, have at it. This will be fun for a year. And honestly, like. I said this before, and you guys can take it away on the breakdown, but I told you the Bengals were going to look respectable with Joe Flacco at quarterback, and you're laughing.
No, they do look respectable. Joe Flacco had a pass in this game that honestly, to me, is one of the greatest passes I've ever seen with my eyes, where he threw a pass. I don't know if it was supposed to be back shoulder, but he threw it, and it stuck right in Jamar's Chase fucking armpit before he can even realize the ball was coming.
That's the Joe Flacco
and I was
effect,
and I was just like, holy shit. And it's funny to me, this whole game, like watching Browning and the camera people, if I was Browning, I'd be like, fuck y'all. Because every time Joe Flacco did something good, they were checking for his reaction, and he did not disappoint. Boy, I tell you, like, it must feel bad if you're that competitive. And, like, yeah, you don't want anyone taking your spot, and being a starting quarterback in the NFL is like a huge accomplishment. But to watch Joe Flacco, a 40-year-old quarterback, come in midweek, they grab him, and it's not even a competition. They're just like, hey, this guy's coming in. He's taking your job.
We're going to put him in an ugly number.
and ultimately, for you guys to get the same results, like, I know that hurts a little bit, but just them focusing on him during the game was just
dude, he can take snaps under center. He can put the ball in the vicinity of the playmakers. Yeah. He's tough. He's a leader. He walks in the room. You have immediate respect. You know, like, I'm not saying they're going to win the bowl here, but the goal of this team should still be, with the Steelers with one loss in division and the Ravens at 1-5. Like, you still have a chance to win the motherfucker. Like, I know that sounds crazy considering how poorly they play with Browning and everything, but, like, you know, they're starting to bench people around there. They're starting to, like, hey, they benched the quarterback. I think they benched Logan Wilson yesterday.
But
like, they're starting to they're not fucking around right now. And that's a good thing.
That defense and Hendrickson, he might be.
Well, Hendrickson, I don't know short week.
I don't know how long he's out for. He got hurt. And
he's one of the only guys that could stop them from getting raw dog.
And honestly, and that's what I'm saying. So if he's hurt, it's just really hard to see this team, like, doing more than the bare minimum.
I think they can hang.
Like, I think for fans, this is the greatest thing that can happen to you the way the season started. And you may be
an entertainment business.
Yeah, you may be thinking that it's just going to be terrible, because at the very least, I think now you can count on, if Joe Flacco's in there, that Jamar Chase is at least going to get in the end zone like one time a game. Higgins is going to get some catches. You have a quarterback that's definitely possible, but that defense, they're not going to stop a nosebleed.
They weren't last year either, and that's a reality that they're living in. But they're also bringing along some young players that are going to get valuable snaps down the stretch here, and it's better to be playing for you young players in games that matter.
For sure.
You know, so if you can play in some games that matter, like, that's good for, you know, the young D end or the young linebacker, you know, like, whoever it is. Like, I just feel like, as a player, and of course I'm always stuck on this as a former player, I want teams to try. Yeah. You know, and I know I said, like, hey, the Jets are tanking or the Browns are tanking.
I feel you.
And I get it. And I've been on teams like that I probably didn't even know we were tanking on, right?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, we're trying. Like, I'm trying my hardest. Like, I'm out here, like, trying my hardest. But the players don't know. Like, the Bengals, they like, I had them to win the division. I think they win the division if Joe's healthy. I think this year is evidence of that. Like, this is so you don't kiss the dream goodbye of, like, him coming back in December and you guys being 500 and having a chance to slide in. That's all I'm saying. Reed, what'd you think, bro?
I mean, the Joe Flacco playing catch was the coolest.
Was it fun?
Oh, it was a blast. Yeah. But very interesting. I mean, like, you talk about the Bengals, AFC North, they do have a shot, or you know, with Joe, they do have a shot. I was a little more interested in the Packers, like we were talking about playing with your food a little earlier with Rams-Ravens.
They played with their food against the Cowboys.
Yep.
They're playing the food yesterday.
I mean, like you saw them week 1 against the Lions, absolutely come out firing. The Packers, that is.
Yeah.
And then here they kind of let them back in the fourth quarter, 11 points by the Bengals in the fourth quarter. Is this, like I was wondering all yesterday, is this you look at the box score, it's not terrible, but if you actually watch the game, they can't continue drives, they can't keep things going. The kicking game, I'm not even going to be able to pronounce his name, but shout out to
substitute teacher guy
Lucas, substitute teacher.
He was like, I don't even fucking want to be here. I want to teach
Mr.
kids.
H,
Bro,
Mr. H.
I was like, bro, what? I was like, you gotta act like a little excited. Like your team's really good. No, to answer your question, I do think I have concerns about the Packers. No question. Like they got to get over the hump of being this team that sometimes doesn't pay attention to details, sometimes doesn't have the killer instinct. Like to me, you're just as good as the Lions, and I picked them to win the division. So obviously, and I think the Lions are fucking great. They're playing as good as any team in the NFC, even with the loss last night. I think the Packers match up better against the Lions than they do the way they're handling the rest of the schedule. Mm-hmm. Like you have to have that killer instinct and put games away. And I think part of it is Jaden Reed being out definitely matters, and the offensive line has been totally reshuffled. Now, I don't want to hear it because look at what Tampa's doing.
Yep. But
like, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
like what?
Golden might be a nice substitute.
Nate was saying Golden was.
It'd be great to have both of them on the fucking field.
Oh, no, absolutely.
And Christian Watson will be back, right?
Yep.
Like so.
But for the time being, I think last night Golden, they might have all those plays for Reed. It was number 0 running those.
And
it looked nice. It looked nice for them. But to piggyback off what you're saying, they do have to stop playing around. And I don't know if it's a situation where maybe they're just trying to get by until they get Reed back and Watson, and then that whole that receiving room looks pretty scary. Honestly.
Because if they end up dropping one of these little mess around games, they already did it against the Browns, but if they drop another one, then they're in trouble in this division.
No question. That's why winning yesterday was a big deal, and it's hard to win in the NFL. But go back and okay, so who did you're looking at the Packers?
Yes,
this is the Packers schedule.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they got that damn tie, right?
Packers got Arizona, Pittsburgh, Carolina, Philly. Like those are 4 games that they can win.
Yep.
And then you got New York, and then you get into the meat of the in-conference schedule with Minnesota, Detroit, Chicago. You get Denver, Chicago, Baltimore, Minnesota. Like the way they play the next 3 weeks is going to be huge because I see these as 3 games that you can win. You go to you host Philly. I think you're probably favored in that game depending on how the Eagles get up off the mat here. But like you got to get these wins under your belt before you get into the conference or divisional games. Can we look at the Bengals to see if there's a prayer Bengals schedule? Because I would love, just for the sake of content, to keep this alive. Well, hey man, if they fuck around and win this game against Pittsburgh,
short week,
on Prime Video, then they get the Jets, they get Chicago, they get Pittsburgh again. Man, this is a big month for the fucking. They're gonna know a lot about the what the rest of the season looks like after the next 4 games, and then trade deadline. What was the trade deadline?
Yeah,
it's typically around like week 8, week 9, mid-season point.
Yeah, so how they play the next 3 weeks is going to tell you everything.
The Bengals, they can trade for anybody. They can't.
No, but I mean they might start selling some pieces.
But who?
If they
Trey
Hendrickson,
he's hurt.
He's hurt. He's
day-to-day.
He's fucking day-to-day.
The MRI came back.
But would you want to buy a day-to-day guy right now?
What are you talking about?
Like, would you be trying to pick him up?
If I didn't have any pass rushers and Trey Hendrickson was day-to-day, yeah, I'm gonna wait a week and then trade for him. Hey man, I don't need Myles Garrett. He was day-to-day a month or 2 ago. So, I'm just like, yeah, absolutely. You could sell him. There are others.
I mean, Logan Wilson, if he's,
maybe that's the part of the reason that they benched him, and maybe he's headed to Tampa or something like that. I don't know if he's good enough.
Well, and this is where it's interesting with the Bengals because it's like they're looking at next year and they're like, well, if Joe's healthy, we don't want to sell all these pieces.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this.
But what is it like to be
spot.
somebody just said Tyson Campbell or the person that They don't know it yet, but you're going to be the other side of like this blockbuster trade that everyone's happy about for one way, but you're going to be in the trade going to the other way.
Yeah, but if you're going to the Bengals, hey, just hold it together for a couple months. Joe Burrow's going to be back next year.
Like you love Joe Burrow, so you can think.
I guess I'm the only one.
Like you're not the only one, but I just feel like a lot of people wouldn't be thinking that in the moment. Like in the moment, would you, if you got traded to Cincy right now?
From where?
From
Dallas, player for player trade. Dallas goes to get
Philly,
Trey Hendrickson.
From Philly, from anywhere that you think you're considered. Okay, from KC. Say Kansas City wants to go get, and now they're on the up and up. Going up.
You pick Kansas City or some team that you're like. It depends, bro. Like leaving Kansas City, pick another team. Jacksonville. Fuck yeah. Eventually, I'm gonna be happy to be in Cincinnati.
You tried
because of the quarterback.
Tried the old Eagles bait on them.
Yeah, you tried the Eagles bait.
You threw the Jags
You are
a little bit
the master.
How about
bait.
the Chargers? If you were on the Chargers, if you were on the Chargers traded to the Bengals, does Justin Herbert outweigh that?
Well, yeah, because right now my team is pretty good. I think Justin Herbert's really good, and I might like playing for Harbaugh. It depends on the situation, but I guess the point is that depending on where you get traded from, it's not the worst thing.
Right.
To Cincy and be like, hey, next year we're going to be pretty good next year. Like they got all those guys inked to deals, and Joe's going to be back healthy. I thought you were going with the angle like you like Joe Burrow, but other people don't. I'm
thinking about.
Well, we shouldn't pay attention to the people that think Joe's not a good football player.
I'm thinking about Campbell. Like
those people should get their driver's license taken away, dude.
Like Campbell from Jacksonville, like not that he was a bad player, like it's just that everyone was more excited.
It's not like going to Cleveland.
We got Newsome. That's what I mean. Like
it's not like going to Cleveland.
He went to Jacksonville and like Jacksonville's in a better situation this year, football wise. Yeah. Like living wise, you're making more money because there's no taxes.
Fuck, I would live in Jacksonville so hard, dude.
Exactly. You go there, and then
the density of people
going to Cleveland is just like. Oh shit! Like if you're that guy, like getting traded,
terrible. All of a sudden, like you don't want to get out of your car to pump your gas. Like it's cold as fuck,
it's freezing.
You got no court. Somebody in here was talking about Dallas making a move for Trey Hendrickson. Dallas, if Jerry Jones wants to really win the trade, he goes and sends those ones to Cleveland for Myles Garrett.
Ooh, that
would be a unequivocal like he could flex so hard and
really
be like.
That could be his last. That could be like his last stand.
But
like, this is my last.
I don't know the logistics of that move, other than the fact that Myles is making a ton of money and Cleveland would bend you over. So,
the last thing on the Bengals Packers, Bengals, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins this year in 2025 they're making $67 million. The entire Packers wide receiver and tight end room. 27.
No, it's wild.
Insane.
It's wild. But those guys, sometimes you're like, man, it's worth it. Because like that 100%. Ball that Jamar Chase caught on the pylon.
Fighting through and
I just don't want to hear the thing where people are like, oh, well, is Jamar Chase the best fucking receiver in the league anymore? Like, should he not be? Well, he hasn't been producing this year. Like, how the fuck do you think football works? Mm-hmm. Somebody throws the ball to that individual. Like, half the battle is having somebody throw you the ball. Dude, that guy's still just
I think he's the fastest player to reach 50 career touchdowns.
Guy's a nightmare. Guy's a nightmare. Should we go to the best game? Oh, we got two more. Pat Saints. Bo, what's up, bro?
All right, let's talk Pat Saints. Listen, I'm not going to get too far into this. I think the biggest thing that I want to discuss here is Drake May. It's fucking good, all right? 18 for 26, 261 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think a huge part of that was a play from the offensive line. They only had 1 sack for 1 yard. I can't even remember what exactly it was, but I think it was when he was scrambling, got pulled down. There were only a handful of pressures by the entire offensive line. Let me just read this out real quick. Left tackle Will Campbell, often criticized because he has alligator arms. 2 pressures. He played well. Jared Wilson, the left guard, 2 pressures. Garrett Bradbury, 2 pressures. Mike Onwenu, who's a monster. I played against him when I was in New England. He's a giant motherfucker out of Michigan. Clean. Nothing.
Clean sheet.
Played a great game. Morgan Moses, who I know you're familiar with, Chris.
Also a monster.
So that offensive line, yeah. We played against him back in the day with the team formerly known as the Washington Redskins. He's a fucking dog. He's still playing in the league.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line is Drake May is really good. I want to read you guys off a couple other stats because he's doing some pretty unprecedented stuff here. Let me just find it in my notes. Just give me one moment. But he's looking really good, man. He had 9.9 yards per dropback, even with multiple huge plays that were called back. He's also 5th in EPA for dropback amongst all QBs in their second season since 2000, which is really cool. And he leads through 6 weeks. Drake May leads all quarterbacks in dropback success rates. He's producing a positive result on 54.6% of his pass plays. It'd be higher than any quarterback in the NFL last season if he can maintain that. The bottom line is a lot of turnover in New England, a team that's, been relatively stable over the last couple decades. So it's cool to see the Patriots hit on a young, exciting quarterback. Now, to talk about the Saints a little bit, personally, I'm not a huge fan of Spencer Rattler.
Boo!
Really did.
I think he's good. I think he's good.
You know what? I'd call him Booty. And speaking of Booty, Kayshon Booty played really well for the Patriots. The Patriots, just going back to Drake May, because I'm kind of developing a little bit of a man crush on him. They don't have a premier. I mean, they've got Steph Diggs, but it doesn't feel like they have premier playmakers on the offense at times besides Drake May, and he's really dishing the ball to these guys and producing for them. So yeah, it's exciting.
100 yards and a touchdown taken off the board on Drake May's stat.
Yeah, I was gonna say we kind of already did the whole ref thing, but it's watching these plays that were called back is infuriating. It was some of the most ticky-tacky bullshit I've ever seen out of the Zebras, and I'm a fucking ref hater. I don't want to really get into it much more than we already did. It's just a shame to see this quarterback have such a good game that, his stats would have been further inflated. He played awesome. And these calls are getting – these plays are getting called back for, shit that's, in my opinion, does not affect the – the play, and it's just kind of perplexing at times. I don't want to really say a ton about it. It's kind of infuriating.
You just don't want to say a ton about it.
Who's gonna get
it's just what the fuck are we doing,
dude? I just
this OPI on Diggs,
the throw,
the ball,
but the throw, it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, because they won the game, but the throw, everybody saw the throw. That throw. I mean, it's 50 yards in a bucket, dude. It's the Trevor Lawrence play that everybody freaked out about, and then you pair it with actual good decision making and good ball placement the rest of the game. It was fucking next level, dude. And then they come back and he hits Mac Hollins on the hands 55 yards down the field again, dude.
Insane. Back-to-back plays.
He's a dog. Our boy Drake May, who came to the green light hangout spot at the Super Bowl, and he was a bro, dude. He's like one of us.
Yeah, he's a bro. He's just kind of a dude.
He's a dude.
I feel like there's nothing I don't know. As a person, he just seems like a pretty regular guy,
Between him,
baller.
Him and Jaden Daniels, and I know some Eagles fans hate it when I talk about this kid, but I am sorry. These two motherfuckers are incredible. And also very chill. We're just starting to talk about how cool Drake is. Mm-hmm. Jaden Daniels,
beyond chill.
He's I was watching some baseball this week, and he's busting reporters' balls about their baseball team. He's they're good kids, man.
Yep.
The league is in good hands. If Caleb Williams figures this thing out, which I think he will, and Bo Nix is already Joe Montana with wheels. But this whole draft class is going to put us in a really good spot. And we, guys, we plan to be doing this for a long time.
Yeah, and just remember,
we watched these quarterbacks growing up.
And then Dr. Fact said that the Patriots, they'll be in the Super Bowl.
First in line.
I love that you're sticking with it too.
Drake May, baby.
Yeah,
maybe they go get him some help. Get him some receivers.
Who would they struggle to match up with in the AFC? I think
we already got the Bills out of there. That's the only team we got to worry about.
I think the next time you play the Bills are going to win.
Ooh, I love it. Do
you want to put a blind bet on it?
Not yet. Not yet.
Because the jacket. My jacket reaches.
I'm waiting until game week now.
My jacket reaches all the way over.
I'm gonna wait until game week because just my luck, Drake. I don't even know who the backup is on the Patriots, and that's a bad thing. You just never know.
You know what though?
Give me insurance.
If a backup is starting, the bet voids.
Yeah, not for you.
How about it?
Not for you though.
No, yeah. Josh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. You want to take the bet?
Yeah.
100?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I just got really good odds. I'm thinking it'll be like Pats will
because like no way. When's the last time the Pats beat them twice in a regular season? Well, it's gonna happen.
It's not that long ago, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think Brady kind of belt to ass.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
But I'm not taking anything away from you. It is a really like they look really good. Vrabel has them growing up quick. Campbell, the rookies up front,
and look. Stephon Diggs isn't
Diggs looks
bad.
Awesome, dude.
He looks great out there, but he's taking over a new role where he's used to being kind of like a diva guy. Give me the ball.
He's the OG, dude.
He shows up when
exactly.
he needs to, and he doesn't demand the ball when he knows it's going somewhere else.
And that's
absolutely perfect.
And it's so great for that.
None.
Yes.
Yep.
Second to none.
Yep. Because for that quarterback, for him to be doing that right now, like it literally can be going different ways, and I feel like that's helping out a lot. And then didn't to see like the videos of him, he's still himself in the locker room because the video of him playing the music before they're letting the reporters in is like after a win and him just trying to get his video of mouthing the song with your bros in the back. I think that shit is funny, and like I'm happy for Stephon Diggs, man.
Quickly, teams in the AFC North that the Patriots would give trouble. You know, obviously the Bills, and then the rest of the AFC East, they're covered. AFC North, the Steelers. Feel good about that matchup?
What?
Patriots Steelers?
That's actually a tough one because we already saw it. I think the Pats move the ball at will. I think the Steelers are going to clean some things up defensively as the year goes on. They definitely have an advantage in the coverage spots. Like that's one thing I think about. You know, the offensive line for the Pats is rounded into form, but like let's say they play somebody with a good pass rush. I don't know. Like Denver might give them trouble. Like Denver could give them a lot of trouble. You know, the thing about the AFC right now is like the best teams in the AFC don't have great pass rush. Think about that.
That's right.
Who are the best three teams coming in the unanimous best three teams? Not just the sleuth here, Fax, who put the fucking Pats in the Super Bowl and he looks smart, but like Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore, all of them have issues. No, I know, but we're talking about going into the season. Who are the best three teams going into the season? And you can throw the Colts in there. Colts don't have an A- pass rush group.
Yeah.
They don't.
They had 2 sacks, but yeah.
They have a good.
Who had 2 sacks?
Quiddy.
Oh, Quiddy Pay.
They don't have a group that makes you shit down your leg up front. It's a good group. I like their group. I love Latu. I think he's going to develop. I think Pay's a good piece, and the tackles are studs. But like Houston, now they got 2 edges that scare the fuck out of you. You know, a group like that, or in the NFC, you think about, golly, man, like the Seahawks. I'm leaving some groups out, but you get the idea. The Jags. Packers got a fucking scary group. So, yeah, I mean, like, you think about it, like, how would they hold up in a situation where the coverage is really tight man coverage, good pass rush? And that's why I thought the win last week was so big for them, because although the Bills aren't world beaters defensively, that's a tough situation to be in. Third down up there in Buffalo, loud as fuck, everybody on the line of scrimmage.
And you, the Patriots, want to be in that situation come middle of January.
That's right.
That's where you want to be.
That's right.
Attacking the Buffalo Bills in Orchard Park.
They're on their way.
Yep.
They're on their
Absolutely.
way. You'd like to be attacking them at home.
That's true. Yeah.
That should be on your mind.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay, last one.
game.
Titans, Raiders, man.
The Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we already had the news come out this morning of Coach Callahan being fired. You know, yesterday was just a mess offensively. I mean, it starts with some questionable play calling, in my opinion, the protection, complete disarray. They can't pick up a blitz right now. It extends further to limitations of the pass-catching group. I think there's one play that encapsulates all that. They're down 10-0, 5 minutes left in the half. It'd have been ugly to that point, but they're still very much in the game. 3rd and 3. So a little bit of context. The previous third down, it was like 3rd and 7. The Raiders rushed 6. Titans could have picked it up. Devin White unblocked through the B-gap, strip sack, Raiders score. So this next third down, now it's a shorter distance to the sticks. They're probably going to heat you up again. And the Titans call a play-action sail concept, which I'm a big fan of the sail concept. Number 1, vertical. Number 2, the deep out. And Cam Ward throws it really well, that deep out. But it's a longer developing play. And when you know you're going to get You're going to get some heat. You got to have a hot. There was no hot there. They couldn't pick it up, and he gets sacked. Crosby beat Latham outside, and then Pollard missed the blitz pickup on White. So that play just kind of encapsulated it. Just the fundamental things, just not being able to do those things that are like day one install stuff. They struggle with TEs, picking those up. And it's a pass catching group. Ridley went down early in the game. That's kind of similar to the Pats pass catching group, isolating for Stephon Diggs. Just not a group with a lot of juice, guys who can create separation. And so it's a tough situation for Ward to win in. So they just a mess.
We just can't do this thing like I'm seeing people take victory laps or whatever it is on like Cam Ward's shitty. I don't see that.
No.
Like I just see a guy who's not honed yet because the offense isn't great and he doesn't have a lot of help around him. So he might press at times.
Right.
Like I don't know if you see that when you're watching him, but I think sometimes he presses.
Because
he wants to win, bro. It's a kid like that. You can tell him it's going to be 2 years, but like he wants to fucking win, dude. He's competitive and he's got a big arm and he wants to make all the throws and he doesn't have the toys to make the throws too. So
yeah,
hopefully, some people were asking like, would it be the right thing to like sit him down at some point this year to protect him? I don't know where the floor is. We'll see soon. But, like, if I were to do that, I would make it perfectly clear that this isn't a personal indictment. It's an indictment of our team and, like, the fact that, like, I don't want to wreck you.
Yeah, the statement would have to be...
You're going to be our daily driver for the next 20 years, we hope.
The statement would have to be we're afraid of fucking them up.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't know how much... Right now you're trying to develop the guy, and I don't know. Obviously, as I just laid out, it's not a great situation to be developed in, but how much is he going to develop sitting on the bench relative to getting live game reps? I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is.
I don't know either. But the Raiders did get a win, Nate. So
the Raiders,
it's pretty good. You got the Raiders. I got the Raiders win total. So like we're creeping.
But Gino just
picking up.
He has to take care of the ball. That's it.
And they might have to lose. He might lose his fishing buddy. Jeff Simmons, because you guys playing an all world. Like, do you want like some shiny new toys on offense? I can get you those. You just might have to
talking about
your fishing buddy.
Defensive players that are indispensable. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Up there.
Well, yeah, but this defense is like, it's not even on the map.
Keep it a buck.
The team's not on the map. Yeah, but he's up there. You're right about that, Bo. All right, so I guess you're going to hear from BetMGM now. Is that what we're doing? Landing the plane? And
first, we're going to hear some.
Hear from some of our fans.
Some of our fans.
Okay,
we want to hear some of our fans.
Let's hear from the fans.
Talk to us.
Cowboys trail 27-24. They're inside the 10-yard line. It's 4th and goal. And little Brian Schottenheimer, bless his little ballless, gutless heart.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna tie the game here. It's not 1993 anymore. And besides, you have Dak. Oh, the almighty Dak Prescott. Go play the game of football. Call an aggressive, creative play, get a touchdown, and put the heat on the Panthers. But no, you settle for a field goal, and guess what happens? These gutless field goal settlers up and down the league, and no one seems to call them out. Oh, this is a good decision here by the Cowboys. Settling from field, you're going to tie the game. Forget tying the game. What did a tie do for the Cowboys anyway? How's that going out? How's that going for them? Go play the sport of football. Not Kicky Kickerson, not soccer. Go call a play and win the game like a man.
Yeah, how about that? And how about on 4th down defensively? It showed Nolan this morning. The fucking Deron Bland was like playing off on 4th down in the slot. Like it was just like pitch and catch. Not the best day at the office from the Cowboys brass.
And if there's any Eagles fans in this chat, y'all got to be pretty excited after hearing that Cowboys fan.
Yeah, man, they got their issues.
Yep.
We're used to that.
Yeah.
Cowboys always have issues.
Yeah, exactly.
Calling someone gutless feels like that's like a good old-timey diss. Might have to bring that back.
Buster.
It feels powerful.
Kicky Kickerson.
He called them field goal settlers.
Field goal settlers, bro.
All right, next call.
What's up, Green Light? What's up, Chris, Sax, Bacon, all the boys? This is Scott from Nevada, only
Scott.
Panthers fan in Southern Nevada. That's been confirmed by the census, a.k.a. Skizzy McGlizzy, a.k.a. Scoots Magoots on YouTube.
Scoots Magoots.
I just want to say Bryce Young is a number one pick for a reason.
Fuck yeah, dude.
He's finally grown into his own, my short king.
Short Prince.
T-Mac, Tedero McMillan is an absolute dog on the field. Rico Dowdle is an absolute dog on the field. I say we ship Chuba Hubbard out. I know we just paid him, and he's been a great back for us. But let's send him out for, a couple of second-rounders, maybe your first.
Oh, boy, that's rich.
Franchise linebacker. And I think that our defense would be pretty all right.
Pretty all right.
What do you guys think? I know that the Cowboys have a terrible defense, and they can't stop the run nonetheless. Their ex-running back, Rico Dowdle, back-to-back 200-yard games, by the way. Let me know what you guys think about that. Keep pounding. Thanks for all the shows, boys.
Keep pounding, brother. And I'll answer this question because I grew up painting my face blue and Carolina blue and fucking silver. No shit. Went to a Panthers game as a little kid and painted my face. So that's how much I loved the Thurs growing up. So shout out. I think you've got a franchise quarterback. I'm not saying he's set the league on fire, but you've heard my takes. My takes are that this guy can be the future. I think you've got a dynamite corner that you can build around. I think you've got to build up the pass rush, although I like Scorton and the kid from Ole Miss, the Avatar.
Princely.
He's 7 feet tall.
I'm not going to take a credit for last
I
name.
can't even
Out
do
of respect to him.
Derek Brown, the guys inside, studs. They're stopping the run. You have some good building block pieces, man.
But you're not getting a second or a first round.
No, you're not.
Pick for Chuba.
But that thought crossed my mind yesterday. It was
it's good thought.
Seriously.
Dowdle's balling.
Dowdle's balling. It's a running back who you paid.
Hubbard was down yesterday, too, with a calf. There's going to be the injury factor.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
But even if he was healthy, you're not getting a 2.
No, you're not getting a 2 for him.
I like you throwing it out there like that, though.
Yeah.
But there's that's a good idea. Okay, next caller.
What's up, boys? Casey, your local Colts fan here. Got a question for Dr. Fax. What happened to the best team in the AFC South?
Oh, got his ass.
I don't know what was going on. Lawrence got sacked so many times back there. I thought he was catching the Holy Ghost. The ball back there speaking in tongues just to get the play out. Fucking shove it a high, should have ran a quick out. So just wanting to see what's going on. I want to give you an opportunity to answer that question again. So if no one else poses it, I will ask.
Run it back one more time. I want to hear what he called the
best team in the AFC South.
Do 15 seconds.
What's up, boys? Casey, your local Colts fan here.
I want to hear what he said.
Got a question for Dr. Fax. What happened to the best team in the AFC South? I don't know what was going on. Lawrence got sacked so many times back there. I thought he was catching the Holy Ghost. You had Duval back there speaking in tongues just to get the play out. Fucking shove it a high, should have ran a quick out. So
That's funny.
God, pretty fucking happy. That's good. That's good.
But look, what happened with the Jags? What people might not know, the Jags sitting at 4-2. Guess what? You know what 65 is? That's how many penalties we have this season. And guess what? That's number 1 in the league, and we're still 4-2. 17, you know what that number is?
Drops.
The amount of drops that we have as a team right now, and we're still 4-2, and that's number 1 in the league also. That's usually, for anyone else, any teams, this is disaster. This is a recipe for losing. But here we are.
For winning.
Here we are, 2 games over 500, 4-2 right now. There's a lot of teams that wish we were in this spot. Yes, you're a Colts fan, so have your little victory lap. talk your little shit, but shit's gonna go downhill for you guys. Daniel Jones, he caught that lucky bug right now. It's gonna die out at some point. It's gonna slow down. And my Jags, you know, I'll admit it. Like, we had a bad game, but JSN is fucking nice, guys. Like, he's really, really good. And sometimes, some teams, you run into really good players and they can take over a game. Is that the Colts shit?
That is what that is.
But hey, hats off and get your little laughs out now. But just
this is what Nate means.
The AFC runs through Jacksonville still.
I'll tell you what Nate means.
We'll be right back.
That's what he's trying to say.
I have a take for you to hold out hope for. You're talking about the drops and how they're going to improve with that. Remember, that was the 2023 Chiefs thing.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, you can become
You were the only person that stayed with the Chiefs. You're like, they're just going to catch the ball at some
Dude,
point.
I almost lost my career over that. I mean, people were like, you're the worst. And I was like, no, I'm fucking best because they're going to win it all. And this could be your magnum opus.
2023 Chiefs. There you go. That's your take.
Duval.
Okay, so now we've got the mentions. Let's finish up. Shall we? But you want to hear from BetMGM, don't you?
I'd love to.
Don't you wish you?
Girlfriend,
this football season, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at first touchdown scores. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back in cash if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Be sure to take advantage of this offer, and if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code GREENLIGHT, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. BetMGM, make it legendary. I think I could be the guy at the end of the commercials about like the hair thinning medicine that like the side effects are stroke. Like, you know, like sudden death.
The fine print guy.
Like, yeah, I could be that guy, dude. I'm getting good at these. All right. So, dude, it's any medicine. They're like, oh, you got a headache? All you're doing is, yeah. Your legs could fall off.
Right.
Like, what the fuck, dude? What are we doing? All right, let's get to mentions.
BetMGM moments. We got a best flight, fellas. What you got for us?
Oh, best flight. I think New England 4-2. Yep. You headed back to, you get some fried oysters first off, which are very good down there. The Drago's fried oysters, I think they bring them to the stadium, and you get in the bus, and just happy to be out of that stadium because that stadium has one of the most hostile ambiances in the NFL. It's the lighting's weird. When the Saints are good, like you can feel it, and so that's probably the best flight for me.
Grace, I had the same thing, but I'm going to pivot since you stole mine. I'm just going to say Rams. You know, got a good little win, go home. That's all I got.
I got the Chargers.
It was just a win.
Got the Chargers leaving Miami.
It's nice going back west and landing. It's probably still light out when you land too,
for sure.
The way that whole thing works
versus it the other way around.
Oh, the other way around's no fun.
It's no fun.
I've got a best drive. We kind of talked about this Friday, but Joe Flacco taking that thing south down I-71.
Yeah, best drive.
Ironic that he had to go south because this was him going from hell to heaven.
Yeah, this is.
He literally he's looking at 3 months of sitting on the bench behind two rookie QBs and 3 months of playing catch with Chase and Higgins.
What's that McConaughey line when he's in the
sometimes
commercial?
You got to go back to go forward. Or
sometimes you got to go up to go down or something.
Like, you know,
if this is his last rodeo, we're literally watching him ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, this is legit pretty cool.
This is awesome.
Throwing balls into Jamar Chase's armpit.
You know, he said he wants to play until he can't anymore. Like, he could play till 45.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, like he could hold a clipboard until 50.
Mm-hmm.
Prove it, Joe. Like
I dare you.
I want to see you fucking play till you're 50, bro. I want to be on my, podcast 900, and you're gonna be still slinging footballs around. You and the other gem of our draft class, Calais Campbell.
Yeah.
You guys are nuts. What the fuck?
Worst flight.
Okay, worst flight. I already gave worst swim to Tanner Engstrand. Go ahead, guys.
Dallas.
The Jets, man. Coming back from London like that.
Oof.
You're I wonder if Garrett Wilson was sitting next to Aaron Glenn on that plane. Bad flight, long flight.
Got to be Dallas, right? You gotta feel like you're about to go get right when you're going into Carolina to play a game, and just to lose.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. and then to lose a close game, sometimes just losing close games sucks even more.
Oh yeah.
And then to lose to your ex-teammate who told you to
buckle up.
To buckle up.
Click it or ticket.
And then he goes on to have 200 and something yards on y'all, and you have to hear that clip the whole plane ride
belt
home
to ass.
that you guys didn't buckle up.
Should have buckled up. Didn't buckle up.
First flight, Dallas.
Even though they got the win, I gave the Broncos a worse flight too. I mean, both those teams. It doesn't even matter that you won. Like, you're talking about what, half a day?
I got it
in the air.
Somebody put it in the chat. It's Rich Eisen had the worst flight. My boy Rich Eisen, because he's a Jets fan. I texted him during the broadcast, with 2 minutes to go, and I was like, "Rich, rush the field." I was like, bro. I told him rush the field. And of course,
they didn't even win.
They didn't even win. So
that's funny. Rush the field is funny.
But Rich probably had a terrible flight back. You go all the way to England to be like, oh, maybe my favorite team will play better.
And to watch that, like we talked about it right before the half. You remember how excited he got? Like not in a positive way, but he was just like,
animated.
"What are we doing?"
Animated. Yeah, because he loves the team.
He saw a Churchill game.
He saw a Churchill game.
Churchill.
Yeah.
Bevel Conway.
Bevel Conway for me was Sunday night. Like I said, there was not a great looking game all day. Like from a uniform standpoint or a setting standpoint. Like Cleveland Pittsburgh's close for me. Like Cleveland Pittsburgh would be the runner up because you got beautiful classic uniforms. And actually, if it wasn't such a dog shit game, it might be the one. But Sunday night, bro, just it was something about that game where you turned it on and you were like, oh my God, this is what a good game feels like. The dopamine that hit everybody watching that game, especially if you've been in the trenches all day watching those dog shit football games, that was amazing. And you get the red and the blue.
Yeah.
The red and the blue is just
very
gorgeous
visually appealing scene.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of red and blue, Chris, my Bevel Conway, it's actually combined with an anti-Bevel Conway, but it's Arizona at Indianapolis. Love the red and the blue. However, the shadows caused by the top being open there at times, it's
borderline unplayable.
It's not the most pleasant thing. It's just kind of makes for a weird viewing experience. So the uniforms, beautiful, red and blue, great combo.
Yeah.
Shadows, anti-bevel.
My bevel is Panthers versus Cowboys. I love the Panthers jersey. I'm a color rush guy, all blue, but the Panthers had that all black helmet with a stripe.
You and Reed, 2 peas in a pod with that.
Was kind of
You like
sweet.
that?
And
yeah.
You like that? That's what I didn't want to be like a
You boys
dickhead
are in
if
for
Reed
a
was
surprise for my anti-bevel.
I love.
Oh my God.
I love color rush stuff. All the same color.
That's hideous, dude.
Those are
And that
terrible.
And Rico Dowdle, maybe it was him. He made it look sweet.
Those are killer.
Toting that tater with that
tater
with that all blue.
I love that.
That looked good.
Now black and blue are they're tough colors to make work together.
Yeah, I don't know why they're
it's
trying.
That shade of blue. I think it's too much of that.
Just
Terrible.
Dude.
Yeah.
A black helmet is not the answer to everything, dude. No. This to me looks like a helmet that you have to sign an autograph signing, and you're like, what the fuck is this helmet? They just made this one. It's like, what the fuck?
How about for Bevel?
But it's
tonight?
matte black.
Falcons, Bills are both wearing their throwbacks.
Are they both wearing throwbacks?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's going to be gorgeous.
Who's going to do
the fact that it's inside?
Who's going to do the Dirty Bird tonight then?
We'll get there. So anyways, we got
it's all anti-bevel.
Anti-bevel.
My anti-bevel is easy. It is Mark Andrews trying to run the tush push because it looked terrible, and you're lucky the refs called the play down early because you definitely fumbled and the ball should have been going the other way.
What's even where he ran it twice in a row. That just sucks. You get stuffed twice in a row and the fumble that you fumbled.
Ouch.
Yikes. Anti-bevel. I don't know which game. I mean, New Orleans, New England is, and I like the New England uniforms and everything, but it's always tough lighting down there. Why wouldn't the Jets and the Broncos be both in their throwbacks? It's such a missed opportunity.
Yep.
And then
2
the
weeks in a
funniest
row.
thing is last night, like sometimes after Sunday games, I'll have a left-handed Siggy and play some Madden, and these guys are still like finishing their work. And I'm like 8-2 my last 10, and I played this guy last night, and I play with the Broncos and make the home stadium Tottenham or Wembley, and fucking it's randomized, right? So somebody online like, and so we're playing at Tottenham. I'm the Broncos. Somebody's the Jets, and I'm like, oh god, this guy's like a psycho.
And Troy Franklin fumbled.
He was Troy Franklin fumbled. It was crazy. Same spot on the field. Guy was belt to ass on me, dude. I got my ass kicked last night in Madden.
By the Jets.
So bad that I actually unmuted myself and was like, "Hey, that was a good ass game, bro." Like right before I turned off.
Yo,
it was crazy. His guys were like
It was
on
because
speed.
It was because of the uniforms you played in.
I picked the
Oh
wrong
my
uniforms.
God.
That's what reminded me of it.
White
Anyway.
lid. blue
Anti-Bevel
shirt,
Conway was
white
me
pants.
playing Madden last night, getting my shit kicked
Horrendous.
in, dude.
Looked like a UTSA.
It does look like they look like El Paso, Texas
Yeah,
El
yeah,
Paso.
one of those.
Yep.
Okay,
Best seat.
Best seat.
We talked about it earlier, but it's kind of a double. But Tez Johnson had the best seat and worst, kind of a worse seat, but catching that MVP
And then
chant,
finding out
Yeah,
he's
that's
not
awesome.
the
Yeah.
MVP.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Let's see. Joe Flacco sitting in that passenger seat or driving down 73 South,
71.
Yeah.
Yeah.
71
Yeah.
South, just being like, I just finessed another franchise. Like,
It's not really a finesse though. He's
it's not
he's
a
like a
finesse.
handyman. You need a handyman. You call Joe
True.
Flacco,
The
dude.
mercenary QB.
Hell
He's
yeah.
a tradesman. Best seat. I don't know.
Best seat. It pains me to say it as a Birds fan, but it has to be Giants fans right now. I mean, this is the most hope you've had around that position since probably since you drafted Daniel Jones, right? I mean, golly.
Maybe
D-line's
more.
Humming, Scattaboo, Tone Setter. Roster isn't there yet, but this thing's starting to take shape.
The Soprano memes around Scatabo and Jackson Dart are incredible.
They're great.
They're hilarious.
The
The one where he's like, "Remember me?"
Yep.
And then I don't remember the
Yeah,
rest
yeah.
because Sopranos. But all right, worst seat.
Worst seat.
I got one. Me at Busch Gardens. Okay, I went to Busch Gardens Friday.
for
never
the
been
Halloween?
on a roller coaster in my life.
Oh.
Okay, I've been on Space Mountain once, which I guess counts.
Ooh.
But I've never been on a roller coaster. And I guess sometimes like I'll get the itinerary. It's like one time my friends were like, "You want to go to Myrtle Beach?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah." And we get down there and it's a golf trip. And I'm like, I don't play golf. Like, what am I doing here? And then like my wife the other day was like, "Let's take the kids to Busch Gardens for fall break." And I don't go on roller coasters, but I never considered that that's kind of what Busch Gardens is.
And you had to go on with your son.
Bro, we walk in and we go to the first roller coaster without a line.
Yeah.
And I'm just like not asking questions, which is a mistake. And we get in line and immediately we strap into this little roller coaster looking car, but it's small. Like my knees are jamming into the front. And I'm like, this isn't one of those fucking.
Yeah, it is.
Loch Ness Monster is the name of it.
Yeah.
Dude.
Whiplash?
No, we went up 100 feet and I'm like, oh my God, this is a roller coaster. And then we drop.
Yeah.
And then we go upside down.
Yes.
And then we went upside down and upside down and upside down.
Yes.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, you didn't even warn me, bro? I didn't know I was on a roller coaster until the thing went down, dude. So I'm good on roller coasters, honestly.
How many did you have to go on?
I went on like 3.
Yeah.
But the problem is, like, I'm going to end up like Lieutenant Dan on one of them because fucking you're way too close to stuff.
Way too close.
And they're like,
they're not made for people like big like us.
Dog, you know what I started to figure out?
You feel like you have to duck on some stuff.
You know what I figured out? I was like at the combine where I was like trying to like put tissue paper in my arm to reach higher or whatever, that trick I did. I was coming up to the 77 inches thing and like I was kind of standing on my toes in front of my family to get out of the roller coaster. So then I would like wait outside the fucking.
I'm too tall for this one.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got it. You got this one.
Dog, there are some creatures at amusement parks, dude.
Yeah.
You talk about like getting out in public sometimes and seeing the people that you argue with online and being like, hey, online arguments aren't a big deal because you're arguing with these people. like there are some wild looking individuals.
Grown men in pajama pants.
Bro, there are some wild looking individuals at Busch Gardens, dude. I'm not saying everybody, but some of the people, like, legit, I don't know why that's the connection I made, but I was like, you really shouldn't argue with anybody on the internet anymore. No. It could be that guy.
No, I'm not going to lie.
Like,
Sometimes
it could be the guy you saw at Busch Gardens. Like, stop. Dude.
Yes.
I find myself doing that lately, too. When someone leaves, like, a nasty comment or something, I'll be like, before I say something back, I click their profile and see if it's open, and I just look at them.
Would you argue with them in person?
And I'm just, and, like, that's what I was saying. Like, I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't even give you the time of day, like, in real life.
It's not because I think I'm better than anybody. It's just because, like, I'm just very different than what's going on here, dude. There's people walking around with like 200-ounce Sprites. It's like a bunch of like people walking around with huge Sprites and like Punisher t-shirts, men in Punisher t-shirts, dude. I'm like, fuck, this is crazy, man. I'm good on roller coasters. Worst seat, me. 2 hours in the car both ways, dude.
Oh God.
Yeah. I think my medal ceremony is when I get home tonight.
Bo, worst seat.
Worst seat, being part of the Colts pregame, warm-ups. Yeah,
Golly.
Talked about it a little bit, but we got some Final Destination type shit happening over there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Ward collided, dude. If you actually watch that, it was ugly, and he was down pretty bad. Like, I think he actually got KO'd.
Yeah, it looked like
KO'd.
It looked like he went stiff, and he was knocked out for like a few seconds.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, I don't know if I've ever seen fencing.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
Tough.
That was bad.
And then obviously the orbital bone from Anthony Richardson. It's like, what the fuck?
That's brutal.
So yeah, Final Destination kicked in there.
Somebody said the Loch Ness Monsters, speaking of Final Destination, is old as hell, which I noticed is a 50-year-old roller coaster. So, Jesus. My wife was trying to kill me.
Worst seat.
That tracks.
Right?
Easy. I'm going Jake Browning, just because, like, you got to feel, at the end of the day, you guys hired someone and you sat me down for the same results. So that can't feel good, having to do that if you're that competitive. Even though you should be a team player, even if you don't think the team is that good. But that's definitely the worst seat right now.
Which one?
Jake Browning.
Oh, Browning.
Yeah.
Oh, and I get it. Like, I see the angst on his face, and I'm like, as a player, you should take it personal, but also, like...
It's also, but you can't. I don't think, like, as a backup quarterback, like, that's...
You got to play well right away if you're a backup. You can't be, like...
But also, too, with you pouting and everything like that, the thing that becomes crazy is...
Oh, no, worse seat, Brian Branch.
Don't wait. Don't mess up. Yeah. And Joe Flacco get hurt next game, and you've been pouting, and you're not ready. Because you might have to get back in
Coach
there.
Nate.
You might have to get back in there and help that team win.
What about Brian Branch, though? And I got a lot of respect for Brian Branch. I think he's a hell of a football player. But, like, if a Chief was getting interviewed after the game and was like, well, I got pushed in the back, and they were like, well, what else did they do to you? And you're like, oh, I don't know, some other stuff. It just wasn't fair. Like, you think people would have killed the guy on the Chiefs? Like, that was not a very Detroit Lion post-game interview. Like, it was kind of like, it was like when my kids come down from the playroom and one's telling on the other one, like, you walked all the way down here to tell me, like, handle it your fucking self. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just, that was an awkward one. So maybe that's my hollow man, is Brian Branch.
My worst seat, we talked about it a little bit earlier, Kevin Stefanski at the podium over these past few years. I mean, this quarterback position in the post-Baker Mayfield world has been a complete circus, and he's had to sit there at that mic as, like, the public-facing voice of reason. I don't know how he does it. He could totally justify, like, a Brian Kelly lash out in one of these things.
Oh my God.
It is just like,
oh my God. That was awful.
Golly.
It was awful. Just show me the door.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do I have to do this?
Fly on the wall.
Easy for me is in JuJu Smith's locker after the game while he's on TikTok and X scrolling.
Damn, you really hate JuJu.
Just watching videos of him getting beat up.
Tough to see.
It's not that I hate him. It's just that in the same token, like, I could see him after he does his little TikTok dances and taunted people. That's what he's doing. He's rushing to the locker room to see, hey, who caught my dance on the logo? How many videos of it is out? Like, is it going viral yet? And now it's just like, you got
in that sense, he's kind of like us.
You got popped in your mouth, bro. But we're not taunting in front of people. If we were taunting, we would still be taking in NFL videos and playing them.
Oh, I just don't draw. I just don't draw the connection between guy getting punched in the nose and TikTok.
Came out that Branch was suspended for 1 game without pay.
Oh no!
That is why we can't do those things. That's why Dan Campbell said we can't do those things, because you're about to play the fucking Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and your secondary is on its last leg.
Go get some bets in quick.
And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick the Bucs again this week, and y'all are going to motherfuck me. But I'll say it one more time. I haven't picked a game wrong yet involving the Lions against the spread or straight up. This is the dumb shit that sinks his season, bro. Like, so when Dan Campbell's pissed about it, I totally get it, and he said the right thing. Yikes, dude. Fuck.
Great. Bad ball.
Bad ball.
I got a fly on the wall here. We haven't talked about this much at all, but love me to fly on the wall over at UNC. See what's going on with Bill Belichick and that staff. I've been reading a lot of rumblings of some egregious recruiting violations. I think people are saying that he's angling to get a buyout and trigger that part of his contract. I want to know what's actually going on over there. And then I think I saw a quote from an anonymous quote from someone on that staff saying, like, what we're doing to this kid is fucked up. And so I want to know what's actually kind of going on behind the scenes there. Apparently he was unreachable during the course of their bye week. Seems like a little bit of a shit show over there right now.
Bill was unreachable?
That's what the anonymous source
pretty
said.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did they try his girlfriend?
I was about to say something like that. Facts.
Listen,
Do it.
my fly on the wall. I would pay good money to be a fly on the wall for the Jerry Jones, George Pickens contract negotiations. Like seeing the agent of chaos in the field. Can't imagine what it's like trying to talk brass tacks with that guy.
Oh my god, dude!
For his contract.
He just like throws a projector up and it's like him just hurdling people. It's like, get the lights, Jerry. Who else does this?
Right.
Yesterday,
for $1 billion.
I'll take $1 billion.
I'm gonna go in there, guys. Seen this
Pay
in
me
the
in
movie.
Bitcoin.
I seen this in the movie. Let's start high. We're gonna go after $1 billion.
That's pretty good. I hope he represents himself.
Yesterday when we were watching and Pickens had that catch and run where he held it by the point of the ball, Nolan said, "That's reckless behavior on the football field."
Yeah.
It was amazing.
That is totally reckless, dude.
Oh my god.
Anything else?
Hollow Man, if we have any.
Oh, Hollow Man, I already gave it out to Brian Branch. That's tough, and it's confirmed by the fact that he can't play football this week. He's such a great player. It's such a big deal for them, dude. That is a huge deal for them.
Huge.
Yeah. My Hollow Man
so dumb.
is going to Cam Little, the kicker for my Jags. He missed a field goal, which he usually doesn't do, and then he makes an extra point, which he never does. He's never missed an extra point in his entire life, high school, college, and pros ever until this last game. So that can't feel good. You just had a perfect streak going for something, and you just ended it.
Yeah, that sucks.
It does suck.
But, kickers.
My Hollow Man, Jamar Chase, Raw Dog comments. He's going to get absolutely murdered in the locker room for that.
Oh, they're fucking. but they're just
he's probably like, yo, if we don't play well, that's what's about to happen.
Yeah.
So funny to me.
But it's just the killed part. Like Raw Dog is cool, like but it's like we're about to get Raw Dog and killed. It's like don't kill.
Well, yeah. If you said they're gonna come in here and kill us, like everybody's like, they're trying to blow them out. But when you put the raw dogging with the killing, it becomes like a whole different thing, dude.
It's like a
it's like a crime to a hate crime.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, why'd you say that?
That's crazy. What are we on?
STL Memorial.
Oh, STL Memorial. Eddie Piñeiro's toes, bro. His toes are crushed. Did you see his little foot? Did you pull that picture up of his tiny little foot next to the fucking? I don't know which tackle it was, but this guy must have like a size 18 foot, and this little kicker. In his little glass slipper, just got hit. Pull this shit up, please. Hurry up. Nope, there it is.
Oh my god!
It's got to
Look
be.
at how fucking small that is.
It's got to be Trent.
That's unbelievable.
Look at how small his fucking little foot is, and it gets stepped on, and he just hits the deck. And
the kicker's foot is the size of the swoosh on the guy's cleat.
Yo, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. And like, look at the different size in like leg. So like, and that's a regular size motherfucker. Like, look at these behemoths, bro. And we get stepped on all the fucking time, and it hurts. But this guy got stepped on, and you thought he got like shot in the ankle. And I was like, you know what? It makes a lot of sense because he's not a football player. He doesn't feel pain all the time. Like this is something that suddenly he's like, oh my God, this is what it feels like.
That foot is from a 5'11", 190-pound man.
An average sized man.
And so the other
What
foot,
are your specs? I know you're 6 foot.
6'1",
You're still 6'1".
Yeah, man, you add that inch.
I don't pay attention to people's heights.
No, I know.
It's
I
like
don't think
height
I've ever
blindness
said it.
for me.
Yeah.
6'1", 180.
Mhm.
Okay. No, I got you at 6 foot.
I appreciate that. I won't. I won't refute that.
Are you 5'11"? Damn,
I'm a 5'10"er.
Damn, I don't even think of you that way.
Yeah,
You see,
nah,
but
I
see,
appreciate
dudes that
that.
are under 6, they don't.
Got that tall
It
aura.
doesn't become a problem until like, and it's not even a problem.
No.
But like, if you're like 5'7", 5'8", like then you're sort of a smaller guy.
Yeah.
But you can still be cool as fuck and be
Yeah.
5'7".
Yeah.
We
I
don't
wear
have
the
any
right
5'7"
shoes.
guys in here.
Yeah.
We're just
Tanner, are you 5'11"?
Yeah, 5'11" and some change.
Cap.
And some change, bro.
Everyone's capping. Everyone's capping on their height.
I don't
in
cap
here.
on my height. I go 6'3" and 3/8. I've always given my combine
on my
height.
height.
People are like,
I've never
just
been
round
6
up to
foot.
4. Stay humble. How about that?
I'm closer to 6 foot than 5'11", but I'm the same.
Size 14. All right. So what's next?
game ball.
Oh, game ball. Oh, game ball. You guys go first.
Game ball is going to my guy, Nate Landman.
Yeah, he balled.
From the Rams. He had 17 tackles.
You got Tom Brady's game ball.
Broke a record for the Rams in a single game tackles, and
Yeah, since like 2000.
it's crazy. 17 is a lot.
You know, I kind of want to give the award to Baker Mayfield. Just with everything, and I'm sure Bo's looking at me like he was going to give it to Baker.
No, I gave Baker my game ball last week. Can't do 2 in a row.
Oh, okay. Well, he's just going to be getting some game balls because there's just some guys on the field that nobody expected to be on the field. Bo, who you got?
You know, I had one. I kind of want to change it now. But like Drake May, dude. He's fucking. I really liked him. I like him. I'm in on him. I'm a hater, especially young quarterbacks. He's fucking tight. I'm in.
I'm going
tight.
Rico Dowdle, revenge game, game ball.
That's awesome. All right, let's look at Monday night real quick. I have a concern. I think the Washington Commanders win the game. I think Jaden Daniels. God, the whole internet discourse thing about young quarterbacks, but like we get to see fucking Caleb and Jaden on the same field. That's great.
Yeah.
And hopefully it doesn't come down to a Hail Mary, but I think this is going to go the Commanders' way, and then I think the Bills win it, but I think it's going to be ugly at times. It's just one of those things where I got a sense that like sometimes after Josh plays a game like that, where he gets beat up physically, like I wonder what the lingering effects of those hits are last week. I'm not putting a concussion on him as some people have tried to do with their favorite quarterbacks this year. I'm just saying that was a physical fucking football game. And Atlanta, what they have is they've got a hell of they got 2 really good safeties. And so like you think about like teams that can defend the Bills and make Josh earn every inch on the field, like they're a team like that. They're going to have to run the fucking football and be patient.
Bills favored by 3.5 points tonight. The total
Hence the line being
50
where it is. Yeah,
50 points.
Hence the line being where it is. So and the other thing is like Falcons' run game is a nightmare. Falcons are like one of the least understood teams in the league, and I'm hand up. I'm one of the people I don't get who they are yet, but this is one of those games we'll find out.
And then in the other game, Commanders favored by 5.5. Total in that one's 49.5. Commanders Bears.
You got an anytime touchdown you want to?
Vegas thinks that there's gonna be a lot of points tonight. Anytime touchdown. Let's go. I mean, if anything,
I got one.
I would keep it
Can I
going.
give one out?
Give one out,
with
dude.
Bill.
Zach Ertz, anytime. No catches last week. First time in like 10 years.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm going with McCaffrey.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me think here.
Bill.
Yeah, it's gotta be Bill.
I like the long shot guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like the long shot guys. I got
a long shot for you.
Has Ray Davis or Ty Johnson? I could put in a Ray Davis or Ty Johnson.
Hit a little wheel route. A little wheel route to either of those guys?
Yeah, I like to put in something like that, a little long shot.
Or how about
what do you think of Reggie Gilliam?
How about a Cole Kmet? Nice little tight end.
Yeah.
Little tight end
Yeah.
love.
Well, that's that.
Devin Duvernay.
Little marathon today. Thank you for sticking with us, but you know, a lot to talk about. We love y'all. Appreciate you guys hanging in, and I hope y'all enjoy the games tonight.
Ty Johnson plus 5,000 first tutty. Ray Davis plus 8,000. Anytime touchdown. Ty Johnson's plus 800. Ray Davis is plus 900.
I'll put both of those in for like half a unit.
Bang.
So last night I had Jared Goff first touchdown.
Oh,
brutal.
Oh, brutal.
Okay, but I also had Worthy first touchdown. See, I play first touchdowns like
both sides.
Like 5. I put 5 in.
Oh, okay.
I put 5 in, and I skipped the running backs because you get the longer odds on like certain guys. So I had like Worthy and but Goff. I was like, when I put Goff in, I was like, wouldn't it be crazy if we had a QB sneak and they fucking roll up? All they had to do was sneak it in, and they do that bullshit.
They do that shit.
Goes to Ben Johnson there. All right, y'all take care.
Take it.
Yerp.